Yo, yo.
What's up? What's up?
Come on. Gee, God, dude, difficulties already? I was like, this motherfucker's falling asleep.
Happy Saturday, guys. You are live with the Talking Real Masa podcast with the Mexican Monopoly Man and Iggy's King.
That's right. That's right. Oh man, we made it to another week. Another
Hell
week.
yeah. Hell
But
yeah, man.
hotter than fuck. Hotter than fuck again.
Hey,
110 all week.
hell yeah. It was raining over here, man. It got humid. It was nasty, man. We had them heats. It was crazy.
Did you have monsoons?
Yeah, we got monsoon. Monsoon season started, and it's real nasty, man. When it rains, it gets all humid and muggy, sticky.
Yeah.
One nut sticks on the leg.
Oh yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
I don't have a problem with that because mine drag. So yeah, I'm at that age where they drop in water and that's it.
Boom.
Yeah, all you hear is clump. M- My lady goes, "Hey, that's a big shit you took." I go, "No, those are just my balls hitting the
a big,
water."
a big fucking
Yeah,
cerote.
yeah. No, they're just my huevos hitting the water. But letting everybody know next week. Well, yeah, next week we'll be headed to Bernalillo, New Mexico, and then we'll be headed to Colorado after that. But we're just gonna make a little pit stop in Bernalillo, go to All Set Burritos. I should be there around noon or 1 o'clock. I'm gonna go live from there and do a little meet and greet. If you live in Bernalillo, New Mexico, come out. I might buy you a burrito or not.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So are those burritos gonna be frozen or are they gonna be cooked?
No, fucker, they're fucking cooked. These are some bomb ass fucking burritos. I'm telling you.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So nobody. I've been begging for people to buy me some, and they don't send them nothing. Even relatives. They
Come
just
on,
act like they don't know
cabrones.
me. So fuck them. So I'm gonna go get my own.
Right?
Yeah,
Hell
yep.
yes. So, anyways, we wanna talk about some the jacket, the giveaways. We got the Dodger pullover here. We came up with an idea. 150 subscribers. We'll be raffling it off. So make sure you share this out to your friends, your family, your people at work. Get them to subscribe. Once we hit 150 subscribers on the page here on YouTube, we will be raffling that pullover. And like I said, all it takes is a click of a button, share the podcast and everything, and get them to subscribe.
And this time, just like the last one, the Rams jacket. The way you're gonna win it is much easier than fucking trying to guess how many Apple Jacks in that jar.
Yep.
So he's gonna put your name on a wheel. It'll get spun, and you'll win the fucking Dodger pullover.
Yes, sir. Yep.
And and then after that, we'll get rid of the Alzado or the Alonzo or whatever you
The,
call it.
the alarm.
Yeah, quit calling it that.
Hey,
Yeah,
a lot of people got mad at me for that, but it's all right. We got to do it to have fun. You know what I mean? And but yeah, other than that, uh, we
yeah.
have these.
When I seen that shit in the morning, I was like, "What the fuck's this guy saying?" Alonzo. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, it's gonna be easier to fucking get rid of it. To start winning stuff. And thanks to LA Jax out of Whittier for donating this stuff. And we're also gonna get more stuff coming in. Uh, we might even get some more Rams and Chargers and some other stuff coming in. So be on the lookout, guys. Yeah, come in, subscribe, share. Yeah, we're gonna be wrapping a lot of our own stuff too,
Hell yeah.
with the Talking Masa logo on it and all that. So shot glasses, tumblers, whatever. I don't. We'll have it on later on. But yeah. But I'm excited for this next guest that's coming in. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hey man, there's a lot of creepy shit happening out there in the world, and you know what? We got people to stop that shit and the help that happened, the way it happened, and the help with the community and all that stuff. That was crazy, and we're gonna get into it later on today in this show. But yeah, man. Other than that,
What about the Giants?
Fuck the Giants, man. They beat us last night. And you know what? You know what? When that happens, all their fans come out and they're running their mouth like they won the World Series. But hey, I've said it in the past. I've said it now, and I'm going to continue to say it. Doesn't matter how much money we got invested in the team during playoffs right now, as it is this season. We got over $1 billion invested. There's no excuses in playoffs, but you're not going to win every game. You know what I mean? So,
And this is
Giants
the thing.
fans,
This is being real too. You know, as a Dodger fan, uh, we got the team to do it, so there's no excuse. You get what I'm saying?
hell yeah.
We can't we can't go in there and then fucking get dusted out of the first round because then we'll be like the Cowgirls.
Yeah, yep.
No, I'm being
So,
honest.
and we got a team invested. So, with that money invested into the team, like I said, you're not gonna win every single game during the regular season, but when playoffs comes around, they got to amarrarse los huevos, como dice uno. Like when people say that, you gotta tie your nuts, and there's no
Yeah,
excuse, man. You know what I mean? And we gotta hit home run and take that World Series, man. And other than that, like I said,
it's World Series or nothing.
yeah,
You know what I mean? We got the team to do it, and there's no fucking excuse.
hell yeah.
You know, and we're not gonna make an excuse like these other dudes do. You know, you get on here and the refs and the umpire, this and that. No, you got the fucking team, and if you don't do it,
Valen verga.
yeah, uh, we're still Dodger fans, but
Yeah,
what we're saying is you got the fucking team, no excuse.
all
Exactly.
day, all day.
Well, let's get it. Let's get it. Don't talk about it. Do it. Hey, what do you
Yes,
think
sir.
about what do you think about LeBron James getting his kid on there?
Hey, man, I'm gonna say something. And it's gonna hurt a lot of people and may make people happy. But I'm gonna say this: if if you gotta go in and pull a couple strings on some people, you know what I mean, to get your kid drafted in to be a Laker, and there's better players out there than your kid, you know, people are gonna look at you and give you that salty look. You know what I mean? And so are those young kids that actually deserved and worked their asses off up there to get into that draft and get picked, but they didn't because they didn't get picked before this guy. You know, there's players out there that were better than him from what I understood.
And the thing is too, like we know, the bar is Kobe set the bar high.
Yeah.
Kobe set the bar high. Not even LeBron has matched his excellence on the Lakers. Not even he hasn't done it. He hasn't done it. So there's pressure on this kid to come in, and it is what it is. But I don't know. I don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah, Kobe. I'm gonna be another Kobe, and he set the bar too high. And remember, us fans, I'm a diehard, super diehard Laker fan. Been witnessed 11 championships, parades, all that shit.
Yeah.
And these guys, they're not doing it, and something needs to happen because look what happened already. Fucking Boston went one up on us. Fuck Boston,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, I've been there, done that. But these guys, they got to play right. They got to get their heads out of their ass. And I don't know about Reddick, the coach. I don't know. We'll see
So
what happens.
I've always said this also in the past. Kobe's gonna always be the GOAT and the legend there, no matter what. That's Kobe's house, you know, whether he's here or not. R.I.P. to Kobe. As for LeBron should have stayed in Cleveland. He should have stayed in Cleveland. He had his own thing
But
going there, and he had his own fan base. He should have stayed in Cleveland.
yeah, but if you see what he does, he goes to teams that are set up already.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, he could have stayed there. How come he didn't stay there through the fucked up years either? Like Kobe did.
Yep.
Kobe
There
stayed
was
there
there,
through some.
there, there was a time where Kobe lost in the playoffs and he was upset, but there's nothing he could do. You know what I mean? He played his heart out.
No, there was a time that he wanted to leave. He was about to leave, but he stayed
Yep.
there. So, like, I gave it up to him. That's why I personally I put him above Jordan
Yeah.
just by a hair, just because he did it with the same team.
Yeah. Loyalty.
You know, Jordan took off and then he came back and he went with the Wizards and all that crap. And
Hmm.
he looked stupid on the, just like Shaq. Shaq looked like a dumbass on the Celtics. Come on.
Yeah. Well, he went to the Heat and then he went to Phoenix too. So
Well, he went to a bunch of
yeah,
teams,
yeah.
but yeah, I give it up for Kobe, Duncan. You know, they did that shit with one team. You know what I mean? So
Hey,
I
Tim
give it.
Duncan, man, he was a beast.
Yeah, I hated that motherfucker. That looked like a fucking avatar, but he was good.
Yeah, he
Tim
was good,
Duncan was
man.
a badass, just like
Yep.
that. All that fucking Spurs team. I hated those motherfuckers. Ginobili and Parker. Yeah,
Yep.
I fucking hated them cocksuckers. But
Hey, and what about the Kings, man? Did you like the Kings or did you hate them?
fuck no, I hated the fucking Kings, dude. I couldn't
Mike
stand
Bibby
it.
in that?
Oh, I fucking hated them fuckers, dude. Man, when Horry hit that fucking shot, fuck yeah, that was bad. Yeah, but yes, but back then, basketball was just different.
Yeah,
Sports in general was just different. We say this all the time, but it was just they played more for the sport. It was better.
yeah,
There wasn't all these rules now and all this shit. So, but like pendejos, we still watch it. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yep. And
Yeah.
you know what? The sports keeps getting softer and softer, man. We see the rule changes now to the NFL. We see it more now in the NFL. The rule changes are changing drastically. They're having them big old protection caps. They want to have them wear over the season now. Uh, the tackling can be what was it, like the waist down or
Yeah, they
something
can.
like
I
that.
I forgot what it's called. I forgot what it's called. If anybody's coming out here, let us know if you guys know what that's called. That tackling, something to roll over on the knee. I don't know what the fuck, but
Yeah, something like that. It's just changing drastically, man. It's getting soft, and I kind of see it like it's some bullshit. And these guys get paid a lot, man. A lot of these guys, not to get political, these guys get paid more than military personnel, and they're out there getting hit. You know what I mean? Which, you know what I mean? It makes no sense. They should go free for all, like how it was back in the day. You know?
yeah. But other than that, yeah, that sports has gone down, guys.
Yeah.
Sports has just really gone down, and I used to be a big boxing fan, dude. Which I am. I still love boxing, but it's not the same. It's not the same. You see these guys getting fucking knocked out, and they're not even getting hit.
Right.
If you go back to see the replay, they're not even getting fucking hit. You
Yep.
know. But I think every sport has just taken that way to just fucking everything's getting like wrestling.
Yeah. Yep.
It's getting
Scripted.
yeah, a lot of it's getting scripted, and I get it. When there's plays out there, even in the NFL, the refs they fuck it up. And I get it for like the Santa Clara Hyenas. They keep on complaining about the refs. And sometimes I get it because I get it.
Yeah.
You see Crosby getting held all the fucking time,
Hell yeah.
and you don't think what's that fucker's name from the Highness. He has a brother playing for the Chokers too. He's the
Oh,
defense.
Bossa. No,
Yeah,
it's not.
they
Is
get
it Bossa?
Bosa. Yeah, they fucking get held.
Yep.
So they got a lot of every team has every right to fucking say, hey, you know what? And it starts with the fucking refs, dude.
Yeah. Yep. It does.
I know we talk shit and this and that, but on the real, they need to start fucking screening these refs. Especially when they get into the playoffs and all that shit. Hey, fuck, I would put a lie detector. I would.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that way you ask them, hey, have you ever betted on any game? Have you ever done this? Pa fuera,
Or,
get them
or
out of
or
there.
or you or even just saying, "Hey, who's your fucking favorite football team, puto?" You know?
Well, I mean, no, but I would go more into betting and all that stuff, and that would fucking
Yeah,
tell you right there if it's a red flag. Throw the red flag on them and say, hey, you know
yeah,
what, you need to kick rocks, dude, because
yep.
but it's all money.
So let's I'm gonna ask you a question. Did you hear about the Raiders? We're Raider fans, obviously. To everybody that doesn't know, there was a report that came out, and they were saying that Gardner Minshew and O'Connell, they're having a hard time in training camp. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't care until they get out there in the field. Like I said, they can do whatever in practice. I don't give a fuck, but they just better man up, and whoever they pick, you better fucking do it. That's how I feel on it. And I heard Adams, he's leaning towards O'Connell, so I don't know.
Yeah,
He likes O'Connell, and O'Connell. What he needs to do is work on his footwork. I
yeah,
think he's been doing that, but let's see.
yeah.
He needs to learn on that because we had 9 years of a pendejo doing that shit. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah,
You know who I'm talking about.
yeah.
'Cause I hate bringing his
He
fucking
he
name up.
he had one good season, and other than that, he broke his ass.
Well, once he got hurt, he was a fucking lame brain.
Yeah, hell yeah,
And we don't need to keep on going through that shit.
right. Um,
But
yeah, I'm ready for football, man. I want them to decide who's gonna be the quarterback, and whoever that quarterback is, I just want him to come in and ball out. I don't want it to be another decade, man. You know.
and we got weapons.
Yep.
We got weapons, so really, there's no excuse.
Yeah. Yeah, and we seen it last season. It was a coaching issue. We seen it. After the coaching switched and they fired that other pendejo. We seen the big difference, and we have a team. It's just the coaching or the coach knowing how to use the players. You know what I mean?
And it's a good thing. Our coach now got them all fired up. We needed that. We needed to break. Hey, let's bring back fucking Raider football, guys.
Yep.
Not just everybody looking lost on defense and fucking offense and not doing anything.
Hell yeah.
And he got everybody on all cylinders. Like, let's do this, guys. It's not fucking. You guys played high school, college. Now let's do it. You know. But a lot of players, they get on there and they think the shit doesn't stink, and then they fuck up or whatever the fuck. And like, I don't get excited for college players. I don't get excited for other players that came from other teams. I don't. That's me. I've already said that. I don't. On paper you look good, but let's see the field. Show me
Hell
on the
yeah.
field, like Wilkins from the Dolphins. Yeah, I got a little excited because I seen some highlights, but then I'm like, fuck that, dude. You're not in a Raider uniform. You're not out in the field. So you're nothing to me right now until you get on that field and show me.
Yeah, with our uniform.
And the fucker they need to get is fucking Mahomes.
Yeah. Hell yeah. They need to, they
You
need
know,
to they need to just bring it to him, man, because you
like
know
the
they
end, the end of last year, they showed us that over there at home that they could do them. They could get them.
yeah.
But you gotta keep that intensity.
Hell yeah. So anyways, shout out to everybody watching. We're gonna be reading comments around 6:30, 6:45. Um we'll be
Do you
reading
see any
comments
comments?
and interacting with us. Go ahead and drop your comments down. Shout out to Tony Bonuelos. He says that we're always talking, or we're here we go again talking Masa about my boys, probably referring to the San Francisco Giants.
Fuck the Giants.
But yeah, guys,
What's up, Tony? How's it going, guy? Hey, it's all in fun, guys. It's all shit talking, and that's what we do, on especially on here because we can, and on TikTok también. We go on there, and it's all sports shit.
yeah,
And but a lot of people take it to like they get all butt hurt and all that shit. But
Hell yeah.
yeah, it's all having fun.
Hell yeah. I also want to take the time right now to shout out E-Boys Custom Embroidery and Printing for hooking us up. He does great work, and hit him up for any printing needs: hats, cups, tumblers, shirts, um, shot glasses,
Shot
and
glasses.
then also shout out to LA Jax for hooking us up with the merchandise to hook you guys up with uh, jerseys, jackets. LA Dodgers, LA Lakers. Uh, I'm,
Wow, what the fuck, dude? Fall
I'm,
asleep again?
I'm hoping you
Jeez,
jumped.
he
I'm
got
hoping you
he
jumped
got
in.
Lakers, Dodgers, UCLA, USC. Gee, go rapido, come
There
on.
you go.
No, jeez, it's like watching fucking oatmeal fucking drip. But no, but listen, shout outs to him. And I want to shout out Iggy for doing all the technical shit, dude. Seriously, he spends a lot. He he got a full time job también, and to get on here and do his shit too. So that's awesome. So shout outs to you, guy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and we got a lot more good guests coming in. We got a good one coming in tonight, but look, moving forward, we got a lot of good ones coming in también. So get on here, subscribe, share. You get to win shit, and it's easier now. So let's do this. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
And I wanted to throw a shout out to somebody. Who the fuck was it? Who was it? I'll remember. Maybe it was that fucking lie. I don't know.
So
Yeah,
watch out, check it out, check it out, watch out, check it out. Shout out to the Mexican Monopoly man. He puts in a lot of work to make this happen. So shout
Thank
out
you,
to you,
Nephew.
man, and keep up the great work. And you know what I mean?
And,
When you come to the point where you're doing things like this, you gotta have a positive and a positive to make it work out, man. You know what I mean? To find somebody and be able to work with them and click, it's hard to find somebody like that, man. And shout out to my Theo Monopoly man for real.
keep going. My fucking head's getting bigger and bigger. I have to take off my hat. Go
Don't
ahead.
take off the hat. The fucking rabbit's gonna come out, ese.
Right? Yeah. But no, hey, we try to come with some good guests, and we're not getting my gardener, or he's not getting the trash guy. Well, if we did, we did. But we're getting good guests. Guests that want to come on here and they talk. And they spill whatever's going on with them. And we look all our guests that I've been on. Fuck yeah,
Oh
awesome.
yeah. And you know what? Talking about guests, man. Talking about guests. Let's welcome Officer Detective Mr. Gil Carrillo, the legend.
El
How are you
cucuy,
tonight, man?
that's not fucking cucuy, is it?
Es el cucuy.
El
This
pinche
is
cucuy,
this is the cucuy, pinchy cucuy at that.
pinche cucuy. That's right.
Hell
That's right.
yeah.
How you been, sir?
Any better, it'd be a twin, brother. I
Bro, I like that.
listen to the introduction, and I'm just laughing because I'm sitting here saying, "Man, I ain't nothing. I ain't nobody, no better than anybody. I'm just an old Mexican retired cop, an overweight one at that."
Yeah, you said it. I didn't. Uh, first of all, I want to throw. Oh shit! Again.
Yeah, you want to throw your camera down.
Yeah, I want to throw. I want to throw a shout out to LA Jax, and LA Jax told me to give you a message. He said, "Quit fucking around with his family."
I remember L.A. Jack when he was selling clothes on the sidewalk, brother, and now he's got two beautiful stores. And I pass by his store all the time. He's a good
Yeah.
man, longtime friend.
Yeah, I talked to him yesterday, and I told him, "Hey, guess who I got coming on?" He goes, "Who?" I go, Mr. Gil Carrillo. He goes, oh wow. He goes, how did you get him? I go, oh, he reached out to him and blah, blah. He goes, well, tell him to quit fucking around with my family. I said, all right.
Hell yeah.
Hey, you know, Iggy, you see that hat right there?
Yeah, you can't. Iggy, let me see if I can raise my shirt up a little bit. I can't. I don't know how to work this goddamn. I'm wearing my Dodger shirt. I've got my camera right in front of my iPad, and I got the Dodger game on TV. So I mean, we're talking Dodger blue runs through my veins, brother. I'm a big time Dodger fan.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking
Show,
about.
show.
Hey, Mr. Gil Carrillo. Hey, fuck
D-man.
them Giants, huh? Fuck the
That's right,
Giants.
brother. It's a hell of a game going on right now. We're 6-6, brother.
Ay, cabrón.
Hell yeah.
So, anyways, how you been, sir? What you been up to, and what's going on?
Well, I've really been. I'm still doing a lot of public speaking all over the place. The last few years, I've been to St. Louis, I've been to Chicago, Las Vegas, Miami, uh, shit, Oregon, Washington, uh, Texas, and Arizona. I'm just doing a lot of traveling, going out and doing public speaking. After the Netflix documentary dropped,
Uh-huh.
I get requests to do podcasts all the time. So anytime I can accommodate and help people, as long as I know what they're talking about, I'm willing to do it. And if that ain't enough, we just finished a independent film. I was called and I was asked if I would do a cameo. Well, you just stand in the background because it's
Uh,
loosely connected with a Night Stalker.
oh, okay.
So after talking to the director, I said, "Yeah, I'll do it." And he says, "Okay, I'll send you a location sheet." They call them call sheets, and so I got it, and there was talking parts on there, and a lot of them. And I said, "Hey, this was supposed to be a cameo. You got me enough of this shit to get a star on the Walk of Fame."
Right?
And he says,
Fucking
"Hey,
full blown actor.
yeah," he says, "you can do this. I know." And I said, "I'm a cop. I'm not an actor." And he says, "What you did in those interview rooms with suspects, you were an actor." So I said, "All right." So I went out there, and for the first scene that they had me shooting, they had a guy standing behind the camera with cue cards in case I didn't remember my lines. And I was scared. I was more worried than a whore in church. I'm telling you,
Oh, wow.
I wasn't used to doing that stuff. I don't mind talking
I've
on
never,
TV.
I've never really seen a horror in church, but okay,
Oh,
that's pretty good.
yeah, they're good. And so I did it, and pretty soon, because it's all about the movie is going to be. It's called Hubbard Street. Hubbard Street
Oh,
is where
okay.
they actually caught Ramirez, and it's all in the barrio, and it's all the movie is about uh, gang members, and lowriders. So
Oh, okay.
all the talk is like if you're in the barrio. Well, I used to be from the barrio, and I used to hang out on the corners. I was one of the dudes. I was one of the homies, and so it came easy. And they decided they didn't even need to give me lines. They just tell me what the scene was supposed to be, and I threw in my own shit. Made it say, my character's name is going to be Rafael, and he's
Ay,
supposed to be
cabrón.
an old homie. And I'm saying, hey, nobody in the barrio nobody be calling him Rafael. They be calling him, they be saying, hey, Rafa.
Right?
They call him. Everybody has a nickname. That's too hard to say. So just call him Rafa. So my name became Rafa.
Rafa.
Throughout the movie. Yeah. So anything I want to say in there, throw in there, want to orale, and I'll tell you, at the best part, it was poetic justice. The best part, without giving you how it ends up, I get to hit Richard, the character playing Richard Ramirez. And I get to hit him, and I hit him with a 2x4. When I knock him down to the ground, I stand over and I'm saying, "Now what, puto?" Yeah.
Ay, wow, that's what I'm talking about.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So we got to do the movie, and they're editing it right now, and it's supposed to be one of two things. They're either going to premiere it in Hollywood one time, and then it's going to go to a film festival, or because it'll be ready to go in September. It's Mexican Heritage Month, Hispanic Heritage Month. So they think they're going to sell it to one of the theaters
Yeah.
and it's all outside of this thing. So they're hoping they'll buy it and it'll go out nationally. And
Hell
then
yeah.
I just got done shooting a documentary. That'll be a 1 hour documentary. It'll come out sometime the end of this year or the beginning of next year. That'll be an NBC thing for a 1 hour documentary. And the other one I can't say that much about, other than I'm involved in writing a series.
Oh,
This
okay.
is the other one is a scripted series where I'm not on, but it's all about Night Stalker again. So it'll be different.
Hell yeah. So you mentioned the Netflix series, man. We talked on the phone, and I told you, hey, that was a great series. How they put it
Well,
together. We agreed on it.
thank you.
It was a good series. I was stuck watching it, and it was good. So my question, my question is, my question is this: what was your reactions when it started happening, and little by little started getting closer and closer to home? In the series, it says that your wife even left because she was scared of what was going on. What were you feeling? What was the way you were feeling, and your reactions to it?
Okay, well, it's a little bit different than what most people would think. And yes, my wife did leave. And I thank you for the kind words you gave to the documentary. And the documentary, all the accolades go to Mr. Tiller Russell, who was the director and writer, and he put it together. I mean, he did magic. All I was a talking head. And so that was that. As to how I was feeling, once the case got going, partner, I didn't think of anything other than the murders. I didn't think of anything other than work. That consumed me. My captain is quoted in the paper in the LA Times that we were working 18, uh, 16, 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. There wasn't time for me to think of anything else. The wife, her responsibility was the kids in the house. My responsibility was catch the killer. And after we watched it together, the night that it dropped, I told the director, he says, okay, this is my idea. This is what I want to do. And I said, I don't want to know what your idea is. That's your job. I'm just the talking head. And he said, okay, well, once we get it all together, then what we'll do is we'll bring you in for the editing part. And you can see what's going to. And I said, I don't need to see the editing. Again, that's your expertise. When it drops, let me know and I'll watch it. And so that's what we did. The wife and I stood up the first night. It dropped at midnight, and we binged it that night. When it was over, during the movie, I laughed and I cried. And after it was over, first thing I did was I apologized to the wife because I had thought about the kids, I thought about the house, but the one thing I never factored in there was fear. She was scared to death. I was never frightened because I pack a gun, I know how to do police work, and I always had a partner with me. So all I thought of, how did it affect me? It didn't. All I thought about was work. I felt bad after it was all over with because I didn't realize how tough it was on the wife.
And real quick, I want to throw a shout out to your wife, Pearl. Pearl Carrillo.
Yeah,
Hey, that's a strong woman right there. Hell
she
yeah.
is. She's the glue that's kept this whole thing together, and it's been a long time, and it'd have been tough with anybody else that stayed fit because I was never around.
And do you still keep in contact with some of these families that have gone through all this shit?
The only one that I keep in touch with is the lady that was in the documentary, Anastasia Ronas. She
Yeah.
was now about 42 years old. She was 6 years old at the time. I keep in touch with her. She was the smartest, sharpest, cutest kid I'd ever seen at 6 years old when I met her. And she's a beautiful, sharp, intelligent lady now, married with 3, 4 kids. She's a professional. Both her and her husband are both physical therapists. And her only fault, are you ready for this, Iggy? Her only fault is she lives in San Diego and she's a Padres fan.
Ay, cabrón, we don't need one of
And,
those.
and
Jeez.
so
Hey,
okay,
well, we're gonna take it back and erase that real quick.
yeah, we talk, and I call her. You know, we're gonna play. I call her. We're back and forth. She's a beautiful lady. I love her. That's the only one that I keep in touch with. I never wanted to keep in touch with any of the kids because I love children, and if I'd have found out that they went a little on they needed psychological help for the rest of their life, that would have bothered me.
Yeah.
And the adults, it's you give them everything you can during the case, and after the case, they want a life to live. I don't want to remind them about it, and we don't have the opportunity to continue because I'm still getting more murders as things come on. I got a job to do, and I didn't have the time. Anastasia, uh, after I retired here in LA, they did a 4 minute and 28-second piece on me, and it was on the news, and
Hmm.
it was unheard of for a lieutenant to retire and for them to give him any airplay, much less 4 minutes and 28 seconds. And that was on CBS, major station. And so I did it. That went out. Right after that went out, I get a phone call from my old office, and they said there's a lady that would like to talk to you. I called her up, and it was Anastasia's mother, and she made me cry. We cried together on the phone, and I told her, I said, I never wanted to know how the kids were doing, how your daughter was doing, because it would have bothered me too much if she was not doing well. She says, oh no, every time you came on TV, because as a homicide guy with the media, every time we had a murder, I'd get up in front of the camera and I'd talk about the murder or whatever we're working on. And she says, every time you'd come on the TV, they'd yell, oh, Uncle Gil, he's on TV. And so they'd run and they'd watch me on TV. And she's telling me, she said, we can't thank you enough for treating my daughter as if she were your own. And so I keep in touch with her. Like I said, I can't say enough about her. She's a sweetheart. And that's the only one I keep in touch with.
Mm. Yeah, well, first of all, I want to say that dude fucked up the summer of '85 for everybody. I
Yeah, he
mean,
did.
I Iggy didn't grow up. Did you, Iggy? You didn't, huh?
No, no, no. I was born in '91, so I
Yeah. So
wasn't. We were able to hear the stories and did a little bit of research on it, and then little by little, growing up, you start catching interest. You know what I mean? And
Sure.
so I started catching interest into things like this and documentaries and stuff, and yeah, that's how I did my digging into it.
yeah, see, I grew up through it. I was in Hawaiian Gardens, so that dude was hitting. What's a hit, Whittier? Yeah,
Yeah,
that was it.
yeah.
Yeah, but once it hit like there, then we was like, nah, this fucker's he's close. He's close, and going in. My mom had us go inside at 5 o'clock in the evening, and te va a agarrar, and he's gonna take you somewhere. And it's like, jeez, okay,
And not
no more
down in
no more hide and go seek. We're going inside now. That's it.
down there in
So
down there in Hawaiian Gardens, there weren't that many houses that had air conditioning either,
no,
and
no,
it was a hot summer.
yep, we were fucked. Yeah, we were fucked, and yeah, and it was just it was like we had the Chicano Michael Myers on the loose. That was it. Yeah, and and just yeah, he fucked up a lot of shit, man, and thanks to you guys, you and Salarno put in that work, and we throw shout outs to the people from East LA también. They caught him and got him out
Brought him
there.
down, yeah.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask you a question también on
So shout out to
the
Ray.
lady. Yeah, go ahead.
Shout out to Ray, and there's a question out there. It's gonna pop up on the screen right now. Shout out to
Oh,
Ray
there it
saying,
is.
what was his motive? Was there a motive that he gave you guys?
Well, the motive, depending on who you talk to, the two world-renowned psychologists, number one, said that I was full of shit. That one man wouldn't be doing all the things that we were alleging. So you have two psychologists trying to, what is the motive? I was able to work the case, and the thing that made it so hard, so many people didn't believe me. I had taken 2 courses, advanced criminal investigation pertaining to sex crimes, and I learned in that class by Professor Robert Morneau. And Bob said, this is what you got. This is a sex crime. And I could see stuff that I learned in class identifying a sex crime. This guy was, as an example, when some people get a gun and they point it right at your face, they don't intend to shoot you there. They just want to see that they're scaring the shit out of you. It gives them power. Well, in this case, he loved the power, and that was like foreplay for him. So I recognized it, and I recognized some of the stuff he was doing as being sexual. So I've contended all from the very beginning that his crimes were all sexually motivated. He didn't kill the kids here because he could control them. He later will tell me that those who acquiesced to what his instructions were, what he wanted out of them, survived. Those that didn't, if he told them to shut up and they wouldn't shut up, he killed them. If he said, "Don't look at me," and you looked at him, he'd kill you. So if you did what he said, you survived, and if you didn't, you die. And so what was his motives? I think it was purely sexual. But he asked me one time, "Why do you think I'm like this, Gil?" And I said, "Shit, if I knew the answer to that, I'd be a doctor making a lot more money than I am as a cop." So
Right?
I don't know, and I don't give two shits. My job was to capture you, gather the facts, make the presentation to the district attorney, and then go through a successful prosecution. And that's what we did.
Yeah.
So he never got like diagnosed with anything, because Iggy made a point where he said if you see him in interviews, he's always like shaking his hands or shit like that. I mean, was he, or was it just
He had
pure fucking demonic?
he had no. He was, he's probably undoubtedly the sharpest murderer I've ever interviewed. He was no dummy. He was self-taught, well-read, and
Oh wow.
he's got some nervous habits to him. People see him moving his hands. He was a finger tapper. So when you'd go, it's just like a horse. He'd be sitting there tapping his fingers on a table, and then when I take his anxiety level up, they'd like a horse race now. Now they'd really start going. He did things like that that were giveaways to me. I could see what he was doing. And as an interviewer, when I started talking to him and had his confidence, I used control questions to raise and lower his anxiety level. I wanted to see how high I could get it and see what questions he got spooked about, because I wanted him to talk. And so that's what I did. Just watch what he was doing, watch what his reaction was to the questions I was asking. And he was never my friend. This was nothing but a job, but I know what I got to do. And so he would call me Gil, and I called him Rich throughout the whole thing. And it just allowed us to communicate with one another. He called Frank Salerno, my partner. He called him Mr. Salerno. And
Oh
I finally
wow.
hit him up. I said, "Hey, what the fuck's up? Why are you calling him Mr. Salerno and me Gil?" I said, "What'd you think? He was 7 feet tall and hovered?" And he said, "No." And
Right?
I said, "Hey, the guy puts his pants on just like you, one leg at a time, brother." And he says, "Yeah, but that's Mr. Salerno, Gil." Well, he knew that Salerno had worked on the Hillside Strangler, another serial killer. And so he was well read, and he knew it. So he was an articulate man.
The first conversation when East LA caught him and held him down for you guys, when you went in and talked to him for the very first time, what were the words you guys shared amongst each other? What was that like?
Okay, I gotta everybody's of the belief that the people in East LA got him and kicked the shit out of him. They didn't. In East LA over there, and it's a barrio, and I'd worked patrol there, and that was Gang USA. Everything was there at the time. And the way it works is, if you were a gang member or a bad Mexican living in the barrio, you had a gun. If you were just a nice 90% of the people that lived in the East LA were all good, law-abiding people. The good law-abiding people, they had to have a baseball bat, a piece of wood, a piece of pipa by their door for protection.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Richard had been running. He was on a local bus. He got off the bus because he got ID'd. He knew he'd gotten ID'd by a passenger, and he saw them dialing right away. So he gets off the bus a couple of bus stops later, and he sees that the guy that first saw him has now flagged somebody down, and they're following the bus. And so he gets off the bus and he starts running. He must have run a good 2 miles. So he's running, jumping over, going through yards, jumping over fences. He went over the sound walls, the 10-foot sound walls of the 5 Santa Ana freeway, and ran across all the lanes of traffic in both directions. Got to the other side of the freeway, then continued to run and jump through fences and get to yards. There is one street, Indiana, that's a north and south running street, and it separates. The dividing line is the yellow lanes in the middle of the street. On the west side of those lanes is the city of Los Angeles. On the east side of those lanes is the county of Los Angeles. It's just something in the street. He runs from LA City into the county. Now he's in the sheriff's department jurisdiction. He tries to steal one car, but he doesn't get away. He backed it up into a wall, and the family was somebody there protecting. Well, then he started running around a block, went up Hubbard Street, and when he got to Hubbard Street, a lady was coming out of her house. She got in the car. He tried carjacking her. She started screaming. The husband came out, grabbed a piece of pipe, hit him in the head twice. He's been running 2 miles, jumping fences. He's tired. The guy gave him a coscorón. So then he just turned and starts running away again. But all the neighbors saw what was going on. Hey, that's a neighbor and he needs help. They see him in a fight. Well, Richard turns and starts to run, but he's exhausted. And they finally just circle him and he just sits down. He says, okay, that's me. And they didn't do it. They didn't beat his ass. They just waited till the cops got there. The cops put him in, took
held him down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was it. He was tired. He was ready.
But
and when I talked to him, he said, "Hey, I knew this was going to happen. It was inevitable. I was tired of running, and I knew you guys were going to get me." We arrested him, and the week before we arrested him, and we had no idea, absolutely no idea who he was, and told our captain we'll have him within 2 weeks. We had no idea who he was or where he was, but I felt confident that we'd ID him and find him within 2 weeks. And it only took us 1 week. But you got to take luck with skill any day. And that's what when he went down to Mission Viejo and committed his crime down there, a kid that was working on his bicycle in his garage saw the car go by, saw it slow down, stop, and he took down a license plate number.
So you think he was ready? He was like, because I mean, come on, you get on a bus, you know people are going to recognize you.
Well,
So
he had
do you
nowhere
think?
to go. He had nowhere to go. I mean, he had just gotten off a bus.
Yeah.
That we released his picture on Friday, August 30th. At
Mhm.
that time, he was on a bus, a Greyhound bus, on the way back from Phoenix, back into LA. The informant told us, "Hey, when he sees, if you guys are hanging around, we knew he was hanging around the bus depot. If he sees too many cops around there, he says he's going to ID you right away. You guys can look, wear dirty clothes, you can have long hair, but your teeth aren't going to be rotten. You're not going to stink like a street person. Your hair is not going to be clean, so that's just the way he'll make you." Well, he got out. He came in through the bus entrance and went from the bus. He started to go into the lobby of the Greyhound bus depot. But when he got there, he looked and he saw that there were too many people. Something's going on here. This ain't right. So he went ahead and went right out the same door that he came in, the way the buses come in. And he walked around the block, went to a liquor store, saw his picture on the front page of a paper. And then he got on the local bus. Then it was called Rapid Transit District. I think now it's called Metro. He got on a bus. All he had to do was make it 8 miles east of downtown LA. And he had a brother living there in East LA. And that's where he's trying to make it to. And if he'd have gotten there, he'd have been in the wind.
Wow. During the interviews that you had with him, was there a time that you just wanted to get up and fuck this dude up? Like,
No.
No?
No, absolutely not. It may sound corny. People can say, "Oh, bullshit, you did." No. My job was to keep him talking. You left all your personal feelings out the door. I got a job to do, and I'm a pro. It's just like people would say, "Were you frightened going in there because you knew he was into Satanism, and and he'd killed all these people? Weren't you afraid?" And I said, "No." It was like like a quarterback for the football for NFL. I mean, during the week, that quarterback is nothing more than a friend, a brother, a husband, a wife. I mean, a husband, not a wife. So he will. I'm sorry, I got interrupted by a double play on TV. That threw me off.
No,
So
you're good. You're good.
Hey,
he's just a regular guy.
that's a
He's just
fucking
regular
Dodger
guy.
fan.
Yeah.
He's a regular guy, and then once you put that helmet on game day, everything goes out the window. You don't worry about your kids, nothing. All you care about is that football game. When I go in on an interview, everything goes out the window. All I'm cared about is trying to get information, trying to get that guy to talk. And so you don't talk by raising your voice, by calling him names, by reaching out. No, you have to have restraint. And if I couldn't have restraint and I kicked the shit out of him, then I wouldn't be. I may as well turn in my badge. That's not a good cop.
Right.
So, question. So, were you afraid of a chair hovering in one of the interviews that you had with him?
Was I afraid? At one time, I've told the story where for about just less than a second, I've got him to a point where I've raised his anxiety level, and his head's on top of a table and leaning down like this, and he's got his hands on both sides of him, just on a table leaning sideways, and he's starting to almost hyperventilate. He starts going, and his hands start coming off the table, and I'm in my mind, like I said, less a millisecond of what I've said. All of a sudden, I'm looking. I've said, "Ching Gao, if this guy starts levitating off the table, I'm fucking out of here."
Right.
I've been shot. I've been shot at. I've been stabbed. I've been in fights. I said, but I ain't never had to fight anybody that's fucking floating around the room, and I get the fuck out of here. This ain't for me.
doing a fucking Linda Blair, huh?
Yeah. So I just said, "Hey, Rich," I said, "How do you want to get something to eat? Are you hungry?" And he said, "Yeah." It's all right. Let's take a break. And so we took a break, got him some food, and then he was all kamado when I came back.
Hell
He,
yeah.
he seemed like he was pretty calmado when he was in there, huh? Because from being out there and killing and doing all that, and then being in there, seemed like he was like more subdued.
Yeah, he knew his territory. Outside, he can blend in with anybody, and he wasn't like that with anybody other than the victims that he killed. Because with his friends, he wasn't like that, and he was just a normal guy. When I'm in there, he just. At one time, I said, "We need this information." He said, "Oh, Gil, I can't tell you that. If I did, Lucifer would kill me when I get down there."
Oh,
He was
wow.
all ready to go. He was all ready to go to hell. I didn't give a shit about. At one time, he starts making circles on top of the table with his finger, and I said, "Fill it in, Rich." And he says, "Fill what in?" I said, "The pentagram. You're trying to draw a pentagram on a table." And he says, "You know about that shit?" I said, "Yeah. It doesn't bother me. Go ahead." And he got his hand and like he erased it. There was nothing there, but he erased it. Didn't want to do anything with it. And so I was aware of what he was into, but it didn't bother me. And if you think about it, Satanism is nothing more than another form of religion. And religion, having faith, is believing in something that logic says isn't so.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all he was doing, and it didn't bother me. I said, I didn't have no power. I joked with him one time. I said, "Rich, when I go out at night sometimes, maybe I drink too much or I've done something that I shouldn't have, and I sit there and say, 'Dear God, help me get home. I'll do the next one on my own.'" I said, "You should." I said, "I play both sides of the fence, Rich. You should have done the same." He said, "Oh no, I couldn't fucking do that." Again, Lucifer would be pissed off. So I didn't care. His Lucifer had no power over me. I had God on my side.
And there was a time where you thought that you were like, I don't know if you were daydreaming. I seen it on there where you thought he was in your house.
That wasn't a daydream. That was he told he told the people at the jail, the deputies working there, that he knew where I
Oh,
lived,
oh shit.
and and he told them that he knew where I lived. He hit a house that's about 5 minutes away from where I live. He was spotted. I live in Roland Heights. He was in Diamond Bar,
Uh-huh.
and it's right up the road, from my house. The day that I came back, we went up to Mission Viejo the week before he was arrested, and when I came back, there were shoe prints in the concrete around my house where there shouldn't have been shoe prints.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and reported right away. I told the department. So they put my house under surveillance to make sure that nothing happened to me. By that time, my family was gone out of the house anyway.
Because it got pretty close when he raped that lady across the street from Linda Arthur's house, right?
Yeah. That was Sophie Dickman.
Yeah, because that's crazy how close it got to you guys.
Yeah.
We were
That's
just
for
talking Iggy. We were just talking Iggy about the lady that got raped from
Yeah.
Linda Arthur's house. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, the one
And-
across the street, right? The one that was tied up on the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a tough old. She was handcuffed to the bed.
Yeah.
She was handcuffed, and she's a tough old lady. She used to work the psychiatric ward at USC Medical Center, and he was using cheap ass handcuffs, the kind you could find in the head shops before,
Yeah.
toy stores. So he had handcuffed her to the bed, and she called out through her window. She drug the bed over to the window and was calling for Mrs. Arthur because she knew she was a cop.
Wow.
And she went over there and says, I've been raped and need to call the cops because that was a different city. So she called the cops for her, got them over there. And the cops, it was a small department, Monterey Park. So they sent every radio car they had up to her house to see if they had a key that fit those handcuffs. And it wasn't they were cheap cuffs. They didn't have a key. And they said, call down to East LA Station, Sheriff's Department, see if they have somebody with sending people up here with a key to help get her out. And she said, why don't you just call the fire department, have them cut them off me, and get me to the hospital so I can be examined? And that was her idea. And she was pissed off because they were dicking around with these keys that wouldn't fit. And she just said, just get these off and send me to the hospital.
Yeah.
She was a tough old lady.
How about the lady that the one that I think she was married, the one he took her eyes out? What was the reason for that? You think it was souvenir?
Well, he said to many of the surviving victims, don't look at me or I'll cut your eyes out.
Oh,
and she
wow.
was an attorney, so I could just imagine that she looked at him. She wouldn't stop looking at him, so he's a man of his word. He cut her eyes out and he left with them. He didn't take trophies from anybody else, so he took them. When I asked him, what'd you do with the eyes? He wouldn't tell me, and anytime he had information that we didn't, it made him feel powerful, and he didn't want to give it up, and we didn't give it up. Matter of fact, I'm still keeping an eye out for him. That's a joke, Iggy. Eyes out.
An eye out. Come on, Iggy.
I didn't know whether to laugh or not, man.
Yeah, it's funny.
That's homicide humor, Iggy.
I caught it and I'm like, hold on. Is that supposed to be funny?
Should I laugh?
Yeah, should I laugh?
Richard tells me he's got an ego that'll fill this room. And he can tell me anything from the time the Christians fed the Romans fed the Christians to the lions to modern day serial killers.
So I heard like back in the day he did like a lot of acid and all that shit, and then he had a bad fucking childhood, right?
Well,
he claims.
I don't know how bad of a childhood he had. A lot of Mexicans down here have the same kind of childhood. He said his dad would get pissed off at him. He'd beat him. And laugh while he's doing it. Well, that shit happens. Not everybody goes crazy. He would get out of the house in order to stay safe and feel comfortable. He'd go down to a local mortuary. He said that was the only place he could remain calm and get some rest. Getting away from from his dad. So he got out of the house early, got him a job. He was rejected by women back early on. He got caught trying to rape. He was trying to get sexy with one of the occupants who was working at a hotel, and was burglarizing the room, and then found the lady. And so he had stuff, but I mean, it wasn't that bad. And there's a lot of people that go through shit like that don't turn out to be serial killers.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. And I didn't talk that much about what he did before he came out here. What we did was we became managers. We put, detectives, other detectives in the homicide bureau, and they say, okay, here's your job. Go back 10 years in Richard's life. I want to know where he's been, what he's up to. Before that, we didn't give a shit about it. People ask a lot of questions, but the reality is I really didn't care. I'm a murder cop. I was investigate murder. How he got there, what he did, I didn't care. I got too much to worry about getting him prosecuted.
So going back to when you guys had that meeting, and knowing that you were one of the youngest cops, or the youngest cop on the case, and you told them that the similar incidents that were going on was the same guy, and they looked at you and said you were trying to make a name for yourself.
Yeah.
How was that? How did that end? What was the result of that? Did they come out and apologize afterwards and say, "Hey, you were right"? Or
Ain't nobody come up and said you're right. Matter of fact, my own partner, Frank Salerno, first time I heard him say that I was right was in the documentary. He said, they got him on camera saying, he finally had to tell the guys, hey, Gil was right, guys, because they didn't believe me, and that doesn't bother me that they didn't believe me, because if I'd have been in their shoes, I wouldn't have believed somebody alleging this without the education that I had. They didn't have the education. And what I was alleging was something that nobody in criminal history had ever been documented doing. He was kidnapping boys, girls. His victims range in age from 5 to 85. The type of weapons he was using were manual and ligature strangulation, blunt force trauma,
Hammers.
stabbing, hammer. He, his shod foot. He did it all. And sometimes they were classifying serial killers as two types: organized and disorganized. Organized, just to make so everybody understands, it's like you're going to build a patio in your backyard. You hire a carpenter to come over and build it. He brings his tools, whatever he needs, and he builds you a nice looking patio. Or you call up your compa and say, "Hey, bring a couple of guys down here." He says, "You bring
Right.
the hammers. I'll have the nails and all the beer you can drink." And so then you put it up together. One's organized, one's disorganized. Richard was both. Every time he went into a house, he had guns on him, and sometimes he used guns. Sometimes he'd use weapons that he obtained from the house. So it was hard to tell people this, and nobody's ever done it. Now this young kid's going to come up here and tell us this is what's going on. He's full of shit. And that didn't bother me, and I understand why they did it. The only ones that bothered me were, I'm hearing, you walk out of the room and there's that motherfucker. He's just trying to make a name for himself, that fucking punk.
Right.
So, but I just didn't have time to argue or anything. I just want to work. I got a case to solve. And we ended up finally coming together, like when you're planning a party, a big bolo, and you got 5 people helping you out, everybody has different ideas the way they want to work. And until you all get on the same page, then it gets done. And that's what happened.
So let me ask you this question: with the technology we have now, how fast would he have been fucking caught? You think?
Not that big of a difference.
No.
Well, maybe. See, we didn't have DNA then.
Mhm.
Fingerprints weren't even in the computer. The only time you got fingerprints, automated computer prints, was if you were convicted of a felony. Richard had never been convicted of a felony, and DNA was so we didn't have DNA then, and up until a few years ago, they only took DNA from felons. Now I think they take DNA from everybody and put it in the computer. So maybe we would have been able to identify him sooner. I don't know how much we would have stopped him. I lecture to cops now, young detectives, and they're just amazed that we did it without modern technology. Back then, they used to call it, when I got to homicide as a youngster, they said, this is what's going to happen, kid. In order to be a good homicide cop, you got to learn the 3 S's. And I said, okay, what are the 3 S's? Snitches, scotch, and shoe leather. So use your informants, drink scotch, and get your ass off, get up off your ass and go out in the streets. Use that shoe leather, solve cases. So that's what we did.
The shoe print. Talk about the shoe print. How did that how did you guys get all the info in depth with that?
We put 2 guys, we had this shoe print come up and put 2 guys on it. They were on a day off. They were out golfing. Matter of fact, they got pissed off at me because I called them in. I said, get your asses back to work. We need you. And they came in and said, what is it? They didn't believe in me either. And I said, this is what I need. I want you to find out everything you can about this shoe print. And they said, where do you want us to start, Gil? And I said, start at the LA County, Orange County line and work west until you find out what shoe it was. And so we finally found the shoe. They did. And so then we went to the crime lab and said, here, the guy that holds the patent on this is Oregon Duck track and field coach. I want to say his name was Stubblefield. And so we went ahead and sent a criminalist up there to learn about the shoe print. And when he came back, we had enough information. I can tell you today without equivocation, January 9th, 1985, 1,356 pair of Model 440 Avias with the right size landed in New York from Taiwan for distribution. And these were black ones. And it was a brand new shoe. So 6 pair landed in the state of California, 1 pair ended up in LA. And so the shoe print became very, very important. Almost as good as a fingerprint.
Now back to and continue with the shoe print, and the media found out.
Yeah.
You explained you were pissed, man. Like you even in the documentary.
Laura.
You were pissed.
I was pissed at the time. It was my sweat and time going into this case, and that was a major, major portion of the case. And she threatened. I wanted to arrest her at the time. And let me go officially on record saying that Laura and I are good friends today. You know, we remain good friends. Laura was good at what she did, and we got to talking. I mean, she was an attractive lady, so sometimes she had to act a dumb blonde. Sometimes she had to batterize and flirt a little because she knew she was good looking. Sometimes she had to build up the egos, you know, blow smoke up the detective's ass to try and get him to talk. And so she was good at what she did. She had the information because she got a copy of a search warrant we left at a guy's house. We have to leave a copy of what we're going to take and a copy of the search warrant wherever we're searching. And she saw that with the shoe. She called up and talked to Frank. And when Frank said we couldn't give it up, she said, I will go and release the shoe print information. And he says, hold on a second. So he transferred, talked to the captain. The captain said, okay, you guys are under house arrest. You stay inside this office. And when Laura's down in place out in the parking lot, she'll let me know. I'll let you know. Then you walk out of the building. And when you walk out of the building, she'll grab you. You give her a stand-up. You know, just talk to. She'll ask you a few questions, give her some information, then go on. And it wasn't shit that we answered for, really. The innocuous questions we weren't going to ask her. And I was just pissed because, you know, she was holding us from doing our work. You know, that was interfering with our job. I wanted to hook her up. And the captain said no. But then later on, we became good friends.
There's a second time that she did this to you too, though, right?
No, that's the only time she pinned me down. She went up to San Francisco, but
Mm.
she didn't do anything to me. She tried to talk to Frank, and Frank wouldn't give her the time of day up there because we're in San Francisco. It's their case, not ours, up there.
Yeah, their jurisdiction.
Yeah, no, we weren't going to talk about anything down here. Matter of fact, that day that we went up to San Francisco, I called my wife. I said, "Hey, why don't you go to the house, take the kids?" I said, "And if you beat me there to the house, just get some clothes. Give me clothes for back to underwear. Give me something for 2 to 3 days." And she said, "Where are you going?" I said, I'll be home in a bit. Just go." So she came home and I said, "Okay, I'm going to San Francisco. Don't you dare tell anybody where I'm going. Wait until tonight. When I get there, I'll tell you what hotel I'm at, give you a number. Then you can say that I went up to San Francisco, but I couldn't talk about the case." And she said, "Okay." I called her up about 9 o'clock that night and she says, "Oh, some hot trot detective you are." I said, "What are you talking about?" She says, "Right after you left the house on Channel 4, they're saying LA homicide detectives headed to San Francisco to learn more about the case. Film at 11. And so she knew somebody, and we just believed that somebody from, well, I'm sure they say the same thing about us. We felt it was somebody from LAPD that gave up the information that knew her well. We already knew that we wouldn't give her the time of day. And so she got it. She's on the plane with us, but sitting in the back of the plane, her and her producer. So the next day, we decided, hey, let's get out of here. Let's go back to LA. He ain't here no more. So we get on the plane. We come back, and we get on the plane, and they had seats right behind us. And there were 4 of us. There was 2 guys from LAPD, and myself and my partner. And she says, "Hi, fellas." And I said, "Hey, what a surprise! How much did you have to pay to get those seats?" And she said, "No, they just gave them to you. We didn't ask for anything." And she said, "Could we buy you a drink?" And I said, "Sure. But, Laura, we're not going to talk about the case. We're not going to talk about anything dealing with homicide." And she said, "No, I don't. No questions asked." And so we got our drink. We each ordered 2 drinks because it's a short flight from San Francisco to LA. And they're buying, hey, let's get it. So we got our drinks, and she says, "Okay, fellas, I do have one question, just a minor question." And before she could even ask it, Paul Tippings from LAPD turned around and looks at her and says, "My, Lauren, isn't that the same dress and shoes you were wearing yesterday?" When she left, she didn't have time to take extra clothes. So she's wearing the same clothes the next day that
Oh
she wore
wow.
the night before.
Oh, hell no.
And she just goes, "Okay, I get it. We won't even talk to you." I said, "Thank you, Laurel." And that was
Right.
yeah.
So I don't know if you felt the same as Salerno did, but he wanted him to get the gas chamber, right?
Yeah, he wanted him to die. They were using lethal injection then, and I
Or
really didn't care. My job was to get him convicted. What they
yeah.
do with him after that, I didn't give a shit about. He asked Frank just before he left for San Francisco. He wanted a couple of things. He wanted to fly up there. He didn't want to go in the bus. And I said, "Okay, we can arrange to get you a flight up there. We'll go." And then he asked Frank, "Are you going to go to my execution?" And Frank looked at him and says, "You're damn right I'm going to be there." And he says, "What about you, Gil?" I said, "Rich, I don't know. I don't give a shit. I've seen enough people die in combat. I've seen enough dead bodies out here on the streets. It doesn't turn me on to know that I'm going to go watch you die. But if you want me there, I'll be there." And he says, "Yeah, I want you there." I said, "Okay." I said, "I'll be there." And then we left there, and I told Frank, I said, "Frank, we can't fly up there with him. That was our plan, to fly up there with him." And he said, "Why not?" And I said, "Because if he does anything stupid on the plane, we're going to kill him." I said, "I'll fucking kill him. I'm not going to die." And he says, "Yeah." I said, "Well, how do you think that's going to play with the public? We never take trips like that. Now we're going to get on one with a guy that we've accused of being a killer. Now he's going to die." I said, "It's not good. We'll just let him do it like always. We'll fly him up there, but with 2 guys with transportation on the plane with him." and that's what they did.
'Cause he died of
So
natural causes, right?
Yes, he did. June 7th of 2013.
That's crazy. That he died that way. You know.
Well, it was good because I didn't have to worry about appeals, going back to trial. Didn't worry about anything. He was
That's
sentenced to
true.
death, and he died. So I didn't care.
And
Some people say they wish they killed him. I really don't care.
did you go back to the prison where he was at? Did you ever visit him after that?
No. I got word from Phil Carlo, a guy that wrote the book on the Night Stalker case. Phil Carlo was the best man and witness when he got married up there in prison. And Phil Carlo said, Gilly wants to see you. He wants to talk to you. And I said, you give word back to him that if he's going to talk straight with me and not bullshit me, I'll go up there and see him. But if he's going to come out with bullshit, then I'm not going to waste my time. And that's because me going up there to see him would be like him going to Disneyland. You know, he didn't get. And so then he got pissed off at me because when he got married, I made a statement to the press and got interviewed and said that I thought it was a mockery of the criminal justice system. He was in there not for rehabilitation. He was in there sentenced to death. I didn't understand why we owed him the right to get married in prison. Number two, I thought it was a mockery of the sacrament of marriage because he was never going to be able to consummate his marriage. And why did we have to do this? Accommodate him. And I had a couple of guys when I went back as a lieutenant to Homicide Bureau. A couple of my guys were going up to San Quentin. I said, "Hey, see if Rich wants to talk to me still." And he got excited. They told him, they took him right up to the cell, and they said, "Hey, Rich, got some people from LA that want to talk to you." So he came up and he said, "What is it?" He says, "You know Gil Carrillo?" He says, "Yes." He says, "Wants to know if you want me to come up here and talk to him." He said, "No." Turn around and walk away from the door. So I guess he didn't like me no more.
Wow. That's crazy. So do you now? I mean, after all this is gone, do you ever just sit there and just like, man, you think, man, I was a part of a big event that went on, and you trip out.
I think about it now the way things are going. When the director called me up, told me the thing was dropping, all he said was, "Enjoy the ride." And I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "You'll know what I mean. And I'll talk to you in about a week or two." So I went from in social media before any of this shit happened. I wouldn't take anybody on Facebook unless they were my friends. I don't care if they were friends with my kids, people that I knew. I wouldn't take them on because I didn't know who they knew, who they were friends with, and I'm still a cop, and it was, it's dangerous to think about it because there are people that don't want me around at that time, didn't want me around, so I had to be cautious of my family. It was suggested after I got this Netflix thing down, and then especially when I started working with George Lopez on the podcast, they suggested that I get into social media. And I told my wife, I said, "Okay, I'm going to start accepting friends on Facebook. And even if I don't know them, I'll accept them. Unless there's something on there that tells me, no, don't. They're in some Satan club or any, I don't accept them. Because I don't want people to ever think that I'm arrogant, that I'm a piece of shit, that I'm too good for anybody else, because I'm not." And I also joined Instagram. And so Instagram started probably about 2 years ago, and I started out with nothing, and I've got almost I'm less than 100 away from 10,000 followers, and
Oh,
so
cool.
it has changed. It has changed my life, and I stopped to think. I have people contacting me from all over the world, and I just turned down. I had accepted it first, and I said, "No, I don't want to do it." A trip to Prague, Czechoslovakia, to go be a speaker back there.
Oh wow.
And so these trips come up. I have people from all around the world, reaching out to me and asking me questions and a lot of stuff, and a lot of people, a lot of Latinos saying, God, we now have a hero. We now have a Latino to look up to, and it makes me feel good. Some of these messages I get puts tears in my eyes, because they've never had anything. And as long as that's going on, and it's been, I wouldn't wish this case on anybody, but I'm ever so glad that I got it. Because I was able to put in the work that it took and understand it, and it's changed my life.
Yeah.
If not, Iggy and Mexican Monopoly Man wouldn't be talking to me right now. And
Fuck no, we'll be looking at each other like pendejos. Yeah.
So I'm gonna put some questions they got here in the comments. Shout out to
All right.
Diane Bautista, and she says, "What happened to his wife?"
She divorced him. And I understand she divorced him right after. In 2010, they found a young girl. I want to say she was 10 years old. They found DNA on her. In 2010, they positively identified Rich as being her killer. And that's when his wife then decided, okay, they got him on DNA. He really did all this shit, and they got divorced.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's crazy how these guys get fucking married. And he had a bunch of chicks after him, right?
Yeah, he had some good-looking women after him before he got married. And I don't want to. He had some that, without offending anybody, he had some people following him that were much nicer looking, in my eyes, in my opinion, much better looking than the one he married. And then she went through hell. Her family disowned her because of what she was doing, and so it was kind of jacked up.
Oh, so when they took that group, I seen them take a picture with her parents or whatever the fuck. They didn't know that who he was or what.
I don't know what picture you're talking about. I never saw.
Yeah,
I never saw a group picture. I never saw a
yeah.
group picture.
I seen one with she was a white girl that got married to him, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I seen that. I don't know who it was, but I seen two other people there with him, and I'm thinking, wow.
Well, the only group picture that I ever saw of him like that was when Phil Carlo was his best man when they got married. He's in a jail.
Maybe that's the one I seen.
Yeah, Powder Blue. And that was his best man, and I don't know who the lady was, but that wasn't their family. They wanted nothing to do with him.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, and then we're gonna go to another question in the comments. Shout out to Nancy Sandoval. Did you guys do research at his own house?
Research in what? Nancy, if I'm sure you're watching because you got the questions there. I don't know if you're talking about his house here in L.A. He didn't. He lived in L.A. at cheap hotels, so he didn't have a house over here. And we served a search warrant in El Paso at his family's house because we were looking for some of the jewelry, and it went public about the eyes because here in LA, if I do a search warrant and I'm looking for, let's say, I'm looking for some heroin inside, a guy's got bags of heroin inside a desk drawer, and I open up that desk drawer and there's stolen guns in there. Well, I can seize them as evidence because I'm there lawfully doing a search warrant and use them in a court against him. In Texas, you can't do that. In Texas, you have to articulate everything you're going to take. So if I didn't put a gun in there and I found it, I wouldn't be able to use it. Well, because we're looking for the eyes were mentioned in the search warrant. So that's how information got out that the eyes were missing. But we didn't find them, and we didn't. That house was searched, but nothing over here locally.
How about the guy that that said that there was a guy that looked like him, but he was a midget?
That's the I laugh because the guy that discovered that, Willie Wilson. Willie Wilson was like a Marine. You know, he had a crew haircut, mean old guy, married
Yeah.
to a Hispanic. He was married to a Mexican lady, and he did not mess around. He was tough as nails, sharp guy. And
Mm-hmm.
we probably had 30, 40 guys working on clues, because hundreds and hundreds of clues were coming in, people calling in. So they'd go in the morning and they'd have 8 clue sheets, and they'd say, "Here, Willie, these are your clues for today." And him and a partner would go out and follow down the clues. And I saw Willie at one of the substations one day, and he's cussing. He's going, "Motherfucker!" And I'm saying, "What's wrong, Willie?" And he says, "I've been working homicide for 20 some years." He says, "I'm old, I'm tired." He says, "And I'm a fucking clue clown." I'm laughing at him. I mean, "What do you mean clue clown?" He says, "Listen to this. This guy looks just like him, has the teeth, the hair, everything. He stinks. The only difference is this guy's a fucking midget. And you want me to follow this clue up?" And so that's what he said, you know. At one time, they had Mariano Duncan. One of the clues came in. They thought it was Mariano Duncan because he ended up in San Francisco, and the Dodgers were in San Francisco.
Oh
And
shit.
there was a resemblance to Mariano Duncan. So they said it was one of the Dodgers. Mariano Duncan did it. And I tell you, there were more pissed off wives that were calling in on their husbands, giving them up.
Yeah.
So we did a good thing. We followed up on every clue. And then after his arrest, we had the guys that were working the clue room call everybody back and tell them thank you for calling, because it was definitely an effort put forth between law enforcement and the community.
That is
Yeah,
funny.
so-
That's some funny shit. Jeez.
So going back to working on the case and you guys interviewing him, you guys had told him something about putting him in the same cell or next to the cell where the
Strangler.
He
suicide
went to his
strangler
cell.
was at.
When we took him to Men's Central Jail, he was going in, and I tell you, he had already mentioned he knew all about serial killers. So we put him in the cell, and Salerno's the one that told him. He said, "Hey, you realize that Angelo Bono was in the same cell?" And he got all jazzed. He got all in vivo because really, you know, he was all jazzed because he had been a serial killer.
He got all excited with that, huh? Jeez.
I guess, not me.
Hey, and real quick, Gil, I want to throw a shout out to you. Thanks for your sacrifice being in the army, también. Yeah, like,
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. That's another thing. You know, it was I wouldn't wish this case on anybody, but I'm glad I got it. The Army, in Vietnam, I wouldn't wish Vietnam on anybody in combat, but I'm glad I got to go. When I was 17 years old, a cop took me home and told my parents, "Sign for this kid to get off the streets or he's going to end up dead or in prison." And so they signed for me. And at 17, I went into the Army. I turned 18 November 29th, and February 1st, I was in Vietnam. So I just barely
wow.
turned 18. And I learned in Vietnam that what life was really about. And I had a new appreciation on life. I had new goals that I wanted for me out of life. Goal number 1 was to get out, and I wanted to go to college. And I knew I was mature because when I sent for my transcripts, I was embarrassed. I obviously thought that D stood for damn good and F was fabulous, you know, because and it was all because I was lazy. I just didn't care for school was nothing but social work for me. And so I wanted to go there. Number 2, I wanted to become a cop. I wanted to become a cop because a cop saved my life. And I wanted to give back to some kid what that cop gave to me. And that was my life. And number 3, I wanted to hook up with my ex-girlfriend that wrote me a Dear John when I was in Vietnam because I was too far away and she had other plans over here and she was having fun. And I said, okay. So I wanted to come out, start dating her and get her eaten out of the palm of my hand. And then I would dump her like she had dumped me. I wanted revenge. So I got out and June of 70. By September of 70, I had her eaten out of the palm of my hand. And December 26, 1970, boom, yeah, we got married. And so I've just finished my 53rd anniversary.
53.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
53.
That's right. That deserves a boop boop.
Boop,
Yeah, shit,
Yeah.
boop.
that's like 90 dog years old, brother.
Right?
Anybody that says marriage is easy has never been married.
Mm-mm.
And I owe everything to my wife. I call her affectionately Sister Mary Clarence because she's
Wow.
the religious. She's the good one. She's on the left shoulder going, "Oh, don't do that, don't do that, don't." And I'm the devil on the right shoulder saying, "Do it, do it, do it." So I guess we complement each other. I'm just a fortunate man to have her. And my kids, you know, she's the best mom, the best grandma, the best nana, and she got to stay home. She never had to work. She got to stay home with the kids, and that was good. And I
That's
had
right.
told her, you better learn how to do something because my life isn't going to change. I'm going to be at work. The kids are going to be graduating pretty soon. You better find something to do. So she did. She used to comb hair before I married her at a wig shop. And so she said, I want to go to cosmetology school. I said, all right. So she went to cosmetology school. At the school, people would come in and they'd get their hair cut by the students. Well, they liked the way my wife did her work. But my wife, she likes to please everybody. She was so afraid that she was going to make somebody unhappy one time. She went, she graduated. One of the ladies who used to go in there and comb her hair uh, hired her. She says, I just come in here to see who's good, who's not. I really like you. Would you come to work at my beauty salon? And she said, okay. She said, let's start off with weekends only. And she said, okay. So she went 1 week. The second week, she's ready to go. And I said, hey, by the way, you're going to miss the picnic. Homicide Bureau's having a picnic. You're going to miss it. She says, well, you're not going to go, are you? And I said, I sure am. I'm not going to miss it. Why am I going to miss it? I've missed so much all my life. Now it's over. You're going to miss it. She said, okay. Well, when you leave, before you leave the house, give me a call. So I called her up and she said, stop by and pick me up. And I said, oh, okay. So I stopped by, picked her up. And I said, so what'd you tell the boss? She says, I told her I quit. So she worked there 1 weekend in a row and that was it. She quit. She says, I didn't want to miss anything. So she's never gone to work. But she's done everything around the house. She's been a good mom.
So you've been known to like comedy.
I
Besides
love comedy.
besides George Lopez, who else have you interacted with and all that stuff?
A good comedian friend of mine just passed away the other day. Uh, Rudy Moreno,
Oh yeah.
Felipe Esparza, even Fluffy. When Fluffy was just starting out, I hired him years ago. We were doing a fundraiser for a homicide bureau. Hired him, and we became friends. And I went ahead and one day he sent me an email because he had my business card with him. And he
Hmm.
sent me an email, and he says, "Hey, just want to say hi, give you a shout out because I'm here. I was at a restaurant and I was writing material down. The waiter came by and spilled a pitcher of water. Says everything got ruined except for your business card because all my business cards are laminated." He says, "So just wanted to say hi." And that's there's Felipe, a guy that's now coming out on the George Lopez. What is it? Lopez versus Lopez show. Momo Rodriguez,
Oh
good
okay.
friend of mine. I go see Momo every once in a while. We talk. There's a lot of those guys. I was just supposed to Thursday. I was supposed to MC an event where Jay Leno was going to be there.
Oh
Going to
cool.
be he was putting on a show for us, but something happened on Wednesday. We got notified that he had to cancel, and the show was on Thursday. And this
Oh
wasn't a
wow.
little show. I mean, you wanted good seats. The cheap seats were $100. Good seats were 2,500. So it was a big event. And then he called up and he apologized up and down, and they're rescheduling it to do it again. But all these, I can't remember all their names right now. You put me on the spot. I didn't expect to remember the comedians, and I just all I listened to is the comedy show. I went on a golf tournament I rode around with George that day, and I met who's a funny little fucker, uh, Joe Pesci.
Oh,
Joe
did you?
Pesci. Yeah,
Fuck
Joe
yeah.
Pesci was at the foursome. Him and Cedric the Entertainer was there.
Fuck yeah.
In the
Oh yeah.
foursome. In the foursome, and we laughed. We thought, God damn it! And the other one was the nicest one to me. Uh, really a good guy. Uh, and he went ahead. He kept telling me all day long, hydrate, Gil, hydrate, because we were out in the sun. And these were all they're all good. Joe Pesci, he made me laugh because he just the way you see him on TV and the way he talks when he's in the gangster movie, that's the way he
Yeah.
really is.
Oh yeah.
And they were telling us a story when we were out there on the course. Somebody comes up and says, "Mr. Pesci, that youngster in the foursome following us would like to know if you take a picture of him." He says, "Sure, let's go take it right now." Really nice. Went over there, and the guy got close to him, and the guy started putting his arm around him, and to get even closer, and Pesci said, "Hey, motherfucker! I said you could take the picture. I didn't say you put your arm around me." So,
Watch out, boom.
Yeah. Watch out, boom.
yeah.
Ay,
Yeah,
cabrón.
we've had the pleasure of having Joey Medina, one of the Latin Kings of comedy out here. Gilbert Escobar, we've had him on
Oh,
here.
Gilbert's a good friend of mine.
Yeah, we had him. I talked to him like almost every day. Well, the other day he butt dialed me, and that wasn't too good. But yeah.
Well, you talk to him, you tell him, give him my regards. He's the
Okay.
one. He's one of the guys notified me right away when Rudy died, when Rudy Moreno passed away.
Yeah, he was a real good friend of his, I guess. Yeah, and you haven't thought about doing stand up?
I haven't. My wife said no. Momo and George both said, "Hey, why don't you do this?" And Momo said, "Come on, Gil, going up there." Matter of fact, Rudy one night, I hosted a show, and one of his comedians was running late. He says, "Gil, go on up there. 10 minutes. You can do this shit. It's easy." And I said, "No, I'm not a pro. You guys are pro. I have fun." Momo one night asked me, he says, "Hey, would you mind going on stage with us tonight?" And I said, "What are you gonna do?" He said, "Well, we're gonna talk some shit, and we're gonna ask questions about aliens." He says, "Matter of fact, here's what I'll be asking." I said, "I'll do it, but don't ask me the questions right now." I said, "Wait till we get on stage, and I'll answer them straight up." And he said, "Okay." And so we got out there, and Don Hefty was on stage with us, myself, and Momo. And Momo says, "Hey, Gil," he said, "do you believe in aliens?" I said, "No." And he says, "Why not?" I said, "Because aliens are up in the sky, and I just don't fucking look up. I don't have to see it. They're not in my mind." He says, "Okay." And he says, "Hey, let's say you're in your house all alone." He says, "You hear some noise. You look down the hallway, and there's an alien in your house. What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to jump out the fucking window." I said, "White people will sit there and say, 'Hey, what are you doing here? Who are you?'"
Right?
I said, "No, Mexican
Fuck all
people,
that.
get the fuck out. Yeah, I ain't going to mess with no fucking alien." And so he says, "Okay." He says, "Now what are you going to do if you're laying there in bed, you're home all alone again, all of a sudden you wake up and the alien's giving you a blowjob? What are you going to do then?" I said, "Well, I don't have to be in such a hurry. I got a few minutes left." And the people in the audience, they were going crazy. It was fun, and they keep telling me. So I told the wife, I said, "Hey, they're asking me to be a comedian. Would I go up on stage?" And I said, "What do you think?" She said, "No." She didn't want me doing it. So I said, "All right, closed case." And I don't know if she thought I'd turn into some kind of I'd never be home. I'd be up on stage. I get enough attention as it is. And so I just did. One of these days, I'll do something if the wife is
Yeah,
around.
I tried it. It's tough, guy. It's tough. It's a different beast going up there and trying to make
Yeah.
strangers laugh. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. I did it at a right there in Uptown Whittier at Club Sage.
I don't know what that's at. I'm very familiar
Yeah,
with that. I just don't go drink down there or party down there.
yeah. So I did it right there. Yeah, it's a tough gig to do. I gave it to these
I
guys, you know.
My wife, I was in Las Vegas a couple of years ago at something that was called Crime Con, and Crime Con is like Comic Con, but only it's for people that follow true crime.
Yeah,
And they're not a bunch of wackos. They're people that follow true crime, attorneys, actors, writers. And so they asked me to go speak, and I said, "Okay, what do you want me to talk about?" And they said, "Well, the same thing you talked to them about in Austin last year." I said, "Well, you want them to hear the same thing?" He said, "Well, no, listen. In Austin, that was just getting over the pandemic. So we only had 1,500 attendees. We've already sold 5,000 tickets to this one in Vegas. And some of those people are paying $1,700 for VIP seats." And I said, "Okay, what do you want to talk about?" Like we said, same thing you did last year. And because last year you spoke to 1,500 and now there's over 5,000. So that's 3,500 people who've never seen you out there. I said, "All right." And it's a big thing. It's sponsored by A&E. So I'm having dinner and wine with some people that are attending. And they're saying, "So what are you going to talk about tomorrow?" I said, "Same thing I did last year." I said, "What did you talk about last year?" I said, "Fuck, I don't remember." And they said, "Well, do you have notes or anything?" I said, "No." "And you're not preparing for tomorrow?" I said, "I'll prepare when I get up on stage. I'll be ready to talk." So I'm due to talk for 45 minutes. So I get up there and they got a big timer going. They got the cameras, everything's being recorded. And I talked, and I went for about 40 minutes, and I give 5 minutes for questions. And they asked me a question. I said, "Okay, that's it. That'll be it." I said, "Thank you very much for your time, your attention." And all of a sudden, you stand up, and I'm getting a standing ovation.
Oh damn.
And I said, "Hold on." I got my camera out, and I'm going like this. I said, "I want to show this to the wife. She's not going to believe this shit." And so they laughed. Well, I got a video copy of it from A&E. They put it online. There was a link there. So I went. I told my wife. I said, "You want to see what I do?" Because she never goes to any of this shit with me. She's an introvert. She doesn't like the attention. Doesn't want anything. So I said, "That's what they do." So she watched it, and I said, "Well, what do you think?" And look at a standing O. And I'm proud of myself. And she said, "Yeah, but do you have to make so much fun of me? You're always joking about me." And I said, "God damn it, lady, you can't take this shit personal." I learned from the same professor that taught me sex crimes. If you make people laugh, they'll pay attention to you because they don't want to miss a joke,
right.
and you'll maintain their attention.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got to take a breath. We just scored again.
What's the score?
The score is now 9-7, top of the 11th. Man on second, nobody out.
For us?
Yes. For the
Hell
good
yeah.
guys.
Hell yeah. And Dodgers for you. Hey Iggy,
Yes.
I need you to. I had mentioned that you had some Dodger stuff. Do you have that belt with you?
Yeah, I can go grab it real quick. It ain't
Go grab
far.
that belt. I told him about it, and he said no, he doesn't. And I go, this guy's a fucking big time Dodger fan. Go get it.
All right, I'll go grab it real quick.
Go grab it. The belt,
Yeah.
not your.
But anyways, yeah. Thank you for being here, Gil. I mean, it's a pleasure, man. When a couple of people found out, you know what? I'm gonna screenshot you some comments because I put up a post about how Richard Ramirez kind of fucked up my summer and everything else. But I was getting some comments on there from some people that fucking hung around with him and all that shit. Yeah, they hung around with him like before he even became a killer, and then some people saying that he got beat up on the on the next street where they lived and all that stuff. So yeah. Oh, and another thing I was gonna ask you. Do you know a Charlie Stubbs?
No, I can't say that I have.
Oh, okay, because I heard that he probably worked in your line of work in LA right there. Yeah, but they said, ask him if he knows a Charlie Stubbs.
Yeah, I can't, and especially if we worked LAPD. A lot of them I know by face, but I can't remember their names now.
Iggy's back. Show him
Look
that,
at
Iggy.
that bell.
Look at that.
Look at that bell. Shit, was this wrestling? That's a badass belt. I wish I had something like that to put on my wall. Right now on my wall, and I just donated some pictures to my daughter for a golf tournament. The one I wouldn't give up that she wanted. I've got an autographed, signed picture of and it's framed in glass of shit. Who's the guy that? God damn it! I can see him right now. Hit the home run in the World Series. It's the best one of the on all the sports fields.
Oh, Gibson.
Kurt Gibson. I've
Yeah.
got a framed Kurt Gibson autographed jersey.
Hell
His
yeah.
picture and the sincerity on it. And I had to give away some stuff to my daughter for her fundraiser. I'm a big time. I've had season tickets down on the first base side and field level. I've been up in the Loge level. There for a while, I had right behind home plate, aisle 4, which is right in the center on the field level. And I just got, when Frank McCourt bought the team, he screwed the fans. The prices started getting jacked up, parking got jacked up, and come to find out, we weren't buying any players. He was using all that money to buy more real estate for him,
Right.
borrowing against the Dodgers. And it finally got to the point where I couldn't afford it anymore. When I first started buying tickets, they were $35 a piece on field level.
Yep.
And the last time I bought them, they were $75 a piece with a $15 parking fee. And then we were told they're going up to $125 next year. And that's what I told. There were 4 of us that had them together. I just said, I'm not J. Paul Getty. I can't afford this shit. I'm only a working cop. So we gave them up. And what I went to do instead was I bought 14 games. The right field was called the All-You-Can-Eat Pavilion. You get 4 seats, and you could have all the hot dogs, Coke, popcorn, peanuts you wanted. We were there. And then my one of my best friends, he's my attorney, his wife used to work for American Express. And so when she was working, and again, she passed away probably about 7-8 years ago. But we used to get tickets right behind the dugout, the underground seats. You'd come in underground and sit right there. All you could eat down there, but it was I think Wolfgang Puck's restaurant downstairs, and everything was free except for alcohol. And then if we didn't get seats there, he'd call me up and say, "Hey, Gil, bring your homicide team down here. We get a suite, fill it up with guys from homicide and just go have a blast." I'm a big time Dodger fan, big time.
So with that being said, Mr. Carrillo, who's your favorite Dodger player right now that's playing?
Oh, Tony, he's just so exciting to watch. Him and Mookie Betts and Freeman, they and the guys in 7, 8, 9 position, they're starting to come up and they're starting to hit. They're carrying the team right now. Well, Betts is down, but it's just so exciting. You wait every time Ohtani gets up, and I've never been like that with anybody. But you just don't know what he's going to do next. He's given them more than they expected, and that's just as the designated batter. I'm wondering what it's going to happen. Is some of the batting going to go away when he starts pitching again next year?
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Okay, 11-7. 2 men on, nobody out. Go blue.
Rock 'em.
Hell yeah.
I got to go on some guy saw me up there. I was in a suite, and one of the employees said, "Hey, you're Gil Carrillo," and he started talking to me. And the guy says, "I work here." He says, "Hey, take my number. I want you to call me up. I want to give you a tour of the stadium." And I said, "Okay," but I didn't want to take advantage of this kid. I didn't want to impose upon him, so I just let it go. My daughter calls me up next season, 2 seasons later, and says, "Hey, Dad, I just met this guy over here. and I'm on a date, and he knew my date, and he says that he wanted to talk to you because you were supposed to call him up to go on a tour, and he's right here. Would you talk to him? I said, yeah. And so he talked to me. I said, tell you what, I'll go down there and take a tour with you, but you let me take my grandson with me. And so he did. I got to meet Vin Scully. I went up into the radio booth, got to meet Vin Scully, took me on a tour of the locker room. Everybody was in there. Fucking Puig looked like you could have pinned a badge right on his chest. He was
Right?
he was really chiseled.
Wow.
I'm glad he's not with us anymore. He was a peleonero.
Yeah.
And but it was a fantasy trip. And then they got my grandson the following week. This was when the Dodgers clinched the playoffs. They were in Arizona, and the guys jumped in the swimming pool when they weren't supposed to after the game. Okay, we came back. They got me seats over there to go to that game. I came back on the Sunday, last day of baseball locally. They got my son. They put him in a Rockies uniform. It was Todd Helton's last game ever, and they made him the bat boy that day. And he was about 16 years old then, 15. It was awesome. You know, I've got so many Dodger stories. We go down to spring training every year. It's fun, and I've been fortunate enough. I've got to see ball games in St. Louis. Let's see, St. Louis, Arizona, San Francisco, Chicago. There's someplace else I went. I can't remember where right off the top of my head, but it's just I'm a Dodger fan.
You know,
being in Arizona, you know, spring training. Hey, I'm here.
I've been down to San Diego. San Diego's got a nice stadium. I like San Diego. I like Arizona Stadium. And everybody's seats are cheaper than they are here in LA.
Yeah.
Who's your football team?
You know, there's only two things I follow in sports. Ever since the Rams left and then they went to this, I stopped watching the NFL altogether when Kaepernick started taking a knee. And I used to have that direct TV where you'd get all the games on.
The NFL ticket?
Yeah, I had the NFL ticket. I canceled it. There's only two things I follow, and I'm starting to get back into the NFL because they're not all the teams aren't taking a knee anymore.
Yeah,
and I
Please let it be
love
the Raiders. Please let it be
Raiders.
the
Yo,
No,
Raiders.
I'm not a big
Yo,
Raider fan.
you got to be a Raider. Come on, Gil.
Raider.
Come on,
Because
Gil.
of the
Hey, we're gonna bless you, honorary Raider guy. That's right. We're blessing you. We're blessing
Hey, I
you.
got you do it. I'll take it. There you go. The only two things I follow are Dodger baseball and SC football.
No Lakers either.
No, man. You ever heard of Kareem Abdul-Gonzalez? There ain't no Mexicans. There ain't no Raza playing basketball.
He said Kareem Abdul-Gonzalez. I like that.
Yeah,
If I find that fucker, we're gonna bring him on the podcast. Kareem Abdul-Gonzalez. Hey, but speaking
that's
of
personal against Kareem. He's
yeah, speaking of your laminated business card,
yes.
remember when I met you through LAJax when you used to go to LAJax and buy some Dodger stuff, and then remember we used to have that furniture store right next door.
I don't remember what next door. I know Jack's. I'd go there.
But you popped into our store, Touchdown Sports Furniture, and I was sitting on the recliner, and you looked at me and you go, "Hey, you working or what? What are you doing?" I go, "Oh, hey, what's up? How you doing?" And we started talking. I knew who you were, and then the phone rang, your phone. You answered it, and then you started talking street. And I'm like, hey, this motherfucker's from the streets then. Hell yeah. Because you were like, orale, what's going on? Hey, this and that. And you were just talking. And I was like, all right. So then we started talking. And you go, hey, here, take one of my cards. And it was a laminated business card that I had from you. Well, check this out. In 2005, I wound up getting a fucking DUI. Yeah. Well, I think that fucking card saved me because they weren't acting like They weren't acting like assholes. They didn't even fucking told my scion nothing. I think they seen that laminated card in there. They're like, ah, shit, this guy knows Gil. So I want to
Who
thank
arrested?
you.
Was it sheriff's department or highway patrol that arrested you?
That was I think it was Lakewood.
Oh, okay. They didn't know me then.
Huh?
It was Lakewood. They'd have known me.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I don't like to bring it up, but that's when you know who got shot the night before. It was Ortiz.
Oh, Jerry Ortiz.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring that up. I don't want to bring that up, but yeah, that's when that happened. I remember I woke up in the cell like drunk, and there was two homies from Gardena right there, and they go, "Hey, you all right or what?" And I go, "Where in the fuck am I at?" They go, "You're in the drunk tank right here in Norwalk." They go, "Hey, were they?"
Yeah.
He goes, "Were they?" He goes, "Were they cool with you or what?" He goes, "I go, why?" He goes, "Cause they shot that dude over there." I go, "Shut the fuck up." I go, "Nah, they didn't fuck with me." So I think they seen your card. They were like, "Nah, fuck this guy. This guy's after Richard Ramirez. He's good."
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
By the way, before the next question, let me give you an update. 1 out, bottom of the 11th. Score is now 14-7 Dodgers.
Shout outs to all the Giant fans out there that were talking shit yesterday. Yeah, that's what you get. That's what you get.
Right.
Dude, Chicano Cat in the Hat. And yeah, they know who they are.
Shout out to all them Giant fans. We want you guys to keep the same energy. So come at us with the same energy tonight. Marin Merga.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's good, Gil. I mean, you're doing big things now too with your documentaries and all that. Congratulations, man. Hell yeah.
Thank you very much.
You keep them busy. Keep them busy. That's the way to do it.
And not busy every day, but just enough to keep me going. Give me purpose.
Yeah. But I mean, you sound like you're a workaholic.
Yeah, I did like to work.
Well, I think that's part being in the army, right?
Well, I don't know what it's from. My dad was a solid worker. He was a hardworking man. So, okay, game's over. We just won.
Okay, let's go to food now. What's your go-to places in LA?
Steven Steakhouse. That was my.
I've been there
for many years. There's a new place. Oh shit! He's never gonna forgive me. Ralph Verdugo has a place on Slauson, just west of Paramount. It's a steakhouse. Great steak, and Del Rey and Pico. Del Rey and Pico is a great spot to go eat. And if you just want Mexican food, there's always Mario's and Pico for a good burrito, the best chile relleno burrito that in town. I don't care. I'm not too particular.
He's already imagining the burritos. Look at him.
Look at me. Do I look like I'm particular about where I am?
No. Hey, you need to go to Opta Cesar Chavez up the 710. It's called La Azteca.
La Azteca.
They're known for and I've been there plenty of times. They're the fucking chile relleno carne asada burrito.
Yeah.
Bomb.
Now, is this a restaurant or is this one of those?
Yeah. Because it's a little.
Okay.
It's a restaurant. It's a little hole in the wall. You can go in there and sit down and all that. Everything's homemade. Everything's homemade.
When was the last time you went down Atlantic Boulevard, south of Whittier, or even down Whittier Boulevard? It's like, the trucks are right next to each other, all the way, down the street. All kinds of people on the sidewalk. Whittier Boulevard, you'd think you were in Mexico. I mean, they're all lined up right there. They're all selling right next to each other.
What about Felipe's?
Oh yeah, that's one of my wife's favorite spots. She likes it.
Iggy would like that.
It.
Oh yeah.
It's good.
Hey, Iggy, you ever go get a chance? Go to Philippe's, dude. They got some bomb ass comfort food over there. Hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
And
You can never go wrong with the right burrito or the right tacos, man. As long as they're made perfectly good, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, well, I once read someplace the rougher the barrio, the better the taco.
right.
That's it.
If you hear
You gotta eat.
gunshots, it's fucking awesome.
Finish your taco before you
Fuck yeah.
don't leave it. I'll finish your
before
taco.
before it's the last supper, that's it. Yeah, you
That's
eat
it.
that shit and get up.
Hell
How
yeah.
about fucking well, of course, King Taco.
Oh, King
It's
Taco.
changed. Don't you think it's changed?
I don't know. I started eating there back in the '70s when they first started in East LA, and I used to use King Taco because my wife can't stand the smell of all the onions, the cebolla and cilantro they put on there. And so if I had had a couple of pops, I'd stop by there and give me some tacos or give me a burrito, and
Yeah.
throw on all the cebolla you want. And I'd walk in the house, and the wife would say, "How you doing?" I'd say, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'd pull some, and she wouldn't even let me get close enough to kiss her, and that way I didn't have to talk to her. She wouldn't know. Finally, a few months later, she says, "No, no, no, bullshit. I know what you're doing. You've been drinking, so you're trying to mask that alcohol." So ni modo. But I still like eating it.
Nancy Sandoval wants to know how old are you now?
I will be 75 this November.
Wow. Hell yeah.
Ask Nancy Sandoval, is that too old for her? Is she gonna call me? Is she gonna call me her abuelo now?
right. Right.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Burgers. Whataburger
Not a big
or In and Out?
No, I'm not a big burger fan. In and Out's okay. I'm just not a big burger fan. I can't
You're a
remember
steak
last time I
guy.
ordered
You're a
burger.
steak guy.
Yeah, I'm a steak guy. That's right. Steak, pastrami. But
Maybe
not a
that's
burger
because
guy.
he did a lot of stakeouts.
Hey,
Yeah,
so
they with burgers anymore, you gotta order. They won't cook them rare for you. I like my burgers rare, and they won't do it because of E. coli. They're afraid. So
Oh,
I
okay.
get a burger and it's dry, so I don't eat it much. I eat a homemade burger, but not out of a burger plot.
so going back to the detective work, and you started working with detectives, right? Uh Tell us about the time when you went out and ate like the Italian style foods.
Oh, we went to. That was when I first got the homicide bureau. I'd only been there less than a month, and so the month prior to me going there, I mean, I'm pushing a patrol car, and so now all of a sudden I'm sitting there at this dinner. We were working nights, and so we went to lunch at a place called Little Joe's. It was an Italian restaurant, and we went in there and we started eating, and I started laughing, and Frank Salerno said, "What's so funny, kid?" I said, "Nothing." He said, "Oh, bullshit. You're laughing at something. What is it?" And I said, "Well, I'll be honest with you." I said, "You know, 2 weeks ago, last month, I'm eating a double wrap Lupe's red chili burrito off the hood of my radio car." I said, "Today, I'm eating, some chicken parmesan. I didn't know what this shit was." I said, "I've never been to an Italian restaurant and drinking a glass of wine." I said, "That doesn't get any better than this." I didn't even know what I would. The only reason I ordered chicken parmesan that night because it had chicken. I love cheese, and there was cheese on top of it. So that's why I ordered chicken parmesan. People don't believe me. Even my cop friends says, "That's bullshit. You can tell me you've never eaten an Italian restaurant. You know what chicken parmesan." God damn it. I was Mexican, brother. They didn't make that shit at my house. And there were too many of us to go out to a restaurant to eat.
Hell yeah, man.
So we won what was it, 14-7?
Yeah, 14-7.
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
So
all
so
came out
I got one more question.
All right.
Here we go. Before the mega question, we're gonna ask this one question. You gotta settle the debate on this. Pineapple, does it go on pizza or no?
No. Sausage, pepperoni, and I'm sure there are those who sit there and say, and don't put jalapenos on yours.
Right?
Yeah,
I
but I'm
like
not a
jalapenos in mine.
Yeah, jalapeno pepperoni sausage.
yeah. If I'm in a good mood, I'll even throw in some mushrooms. I like mushrooms. But if not, pepperoni, salsa, jalapenos, vámonos.
Yeah.
Donut places. What's your favorite donut place to go to?
I'm not a big donut fan, but I
Oh
do
wow.
like crispy. I do like Krispy Kreme.
Oh
They're
okay.
glazed. They're glazed. That's the only ones that I eat. And
Mhm.
I can't tell you the last time I ate a donut from Krispy Kreme. And matter of fact, they made it in '89. They made a made-for-TV movie where A. Martinez played me, and Richard Jordan played Frank Salerno. And so I'm talking to A. Martinez before the movie shot, and he says, "What do you think?" I said, "Well, I read the script." I said, "They have me eating donuts." I said, "To be honest, I don't even really care for donuts. And I'm not the I don't give a shit if you have me eating, but have me eating a taco or a burrito or something like that." So in the
Yeah.
movie, they had him staked out in the car and he's eating the burrito. So they changed it. I'm not a big donut fan, but I do like Krispy Kreme, especially when they got the red light on that they're fresh. Man, I could sit there with a glass of milk and just down me some donuts.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Hell yeah. So are you a big movie fanatic? You like a lot of movies?
No,
No.
no. I comedies I love. I can't wait till the third because Eddie Murphy, not Eddie Murphy. Yeah, Eddie Murphy coming out in Beverly Hills 3.
Is he?
Yeah, they're
Oh,
supposed to be
I
releasing the
thought it
third.
was all a hoax. All right,
No,
cool.
that one's coming out. I like comedies, and I love old combat movies. We Were Soldiers. I got a phone call from a guy that served as a technical advisor on it, and he said, "You got to go see this and take somebody you love with you." So I took my wife. We went to go see it when it came out, and my wife cried. She apologized to me up and down because what she had done back then. My kids went to see it. My kids came back and cried. My daughters, because it was a good movie. So a good combat movie I can watch, but I don't go to the show that often. Some old movies, Stand and Deliver with Jaime Escalante. I still get all lagrimos when I watch that movie. I've seen
I
it at
got
least a dozen times.
I got it decomposing in my locker. Hey, I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good that's a good movie. Hell
Hey,
yeah.
you can do it, Nethead. You can do it. Con ganas. Con
What you
ganas.
think? I like the finger man. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I used to have drinks with Jaime Escalante.
Oh yeah?
When I was working for he'd go to the same bar that we went to right there in
Oh
East LA. He's
wow.
teaching Garfield High School, and we were right by the bar was right in between us. So we'd pop in there and have drinks, and it was fun.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that was a bomb ass movie. Yeah. But talking about war movies, I'm into Saving Private Ryan. I think that's one of my
That's a good
best.
movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
Band of Brothers was a great
That's good too. That's good
series
too.
too.
Yeah, that series was bomb. I like that. Yeah, and Platoon.
I didn't care for Platoon that much because it showed him using too much dope. I'm sure the guys on the ground did do a lot of dope, but no, wait a minute. Platoon was a good movie. There's another one where they're landing on the beach, and he said, "I love the smell of napalm in the morning." And it used to show them doing a lot of dope, and they're out in the jungles, and I didn't care for that
Oh, was
because
that Apocalypse or no?
Apocalypse Now,
Yeah,
Apocalypse Now, that's the one I didn't care for. No, Platoon was a good movie.
yeah. That's with
I like that one.
Charlie Sheen.
Yeah,
Charlie Sheen and who was that other ugly dude? You don't like movies like The Deer Hunter or
no, I didn't care for the Deer Hunter. I
no?
liked. I'm not a big. My son, guy could tell you everything, who the actors, who the writers are. He's a big movie buff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I got a 12-year-old grandson that's the same way. He reads about them and he talks about them, and he knows who the actors are and how old they are.
Yeah.
I never got into that shit. And now all I do on TV, if I'm not watching sports, it's 48 hours, Dateline, the cop stuff.
The cop stuff, huh? That's cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the 48 hours, that's where they start ratting, like right at the beginning, huh?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So how do you, the I know it's changed the all of these detective work and all this. So they have it much easier than when you guys were fucking doing this shit, right?
I don't know. I've been gone for almost 15 years now. So I don't know what they go through anymore. And nor do I give a shit what they do anymore. I have no part of it. I can't be a part of it. So it is what it is.
So, if you were to look back at that young Gil Carrillo, what would you tell him now?
Have fun. I wouldn't change anything in my career. Maybe I would have promoted sooner, but I'm happy the way things ended up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't change anything.
Nah, I'm satisfied. I'm happy. And like I said, I would have started promoting earlier. And it was just because I love my love for homicide with the former sheriff that we had at the time, Sherman Block, under his command. If you promoted out of homicide bureau, I was already at homicide bureau. When you're a deputy, you get it's a bonus, what they call a bonus 2 position. So you get paid the same thing as a sergeant. You get top step sergeant's pay, and you're working there as a deputy. And it didn't matter. My partner, I broke in sergeants, or I'd work with anybody. It didn't matter. Didn't matter. But if you promoted, if I wanted to be a sergeant, and in order to be a lieutenant, which is one rank higher, you had to be a sergeant first.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to take the sergeant's exam because if you pass, you had to leave. You had to go out and get some kind of field experience, and then they'd let you come back. I didn't want to leave. When Baca became sheriff, he saw me. He said, "Where are you at on the sergeant's list?" I said, "I'm not." He said, "Why not?" I said, "I didn't take it." He says, "Why didn't you take it?" I said, "Because if you pass, you had to leave the bureau, and I didn't feel like leaving homicide. I love it. I'm making top step sergeant's pay. I don't have to deal with citizen complaints. I don't have to deal with beefs. Nothing. We work our own schedules. It's a great place to work." And he says, "Well, I wouldn't make you leave." I said, "Well, you weren't the sheriff then. Baca was. Now that I know that's your policy, I'll take the sergeant's test." And I did, and I passed it. And so, but before I took the test, before they put out the pass or fail, I was on this, before the promotions came out, I was asked to go work for the sheriff on loan. And so I made sergeant while I was on loan for him. And they said, "Okay, you're now a sergeant." They said, "Where do you want to go?" And I said, "I don't care." And they said, "Well, if I were you, tell personnel you want to stay. Because I don't think the sheriff wants you to go. Wasn't he just giving you instructions the other day? He wants you to set up this date, in another month." And I said, "Yeah." He said, "That's a hint. He wants you to stay. Then when you make sergeant, you get what they call an appraisal of promotability. So your boss has to write something, and give you a score, whether you can get up. And if you're going to be promoted, you got to get 100. You just about have to get 100 for appraisal." And he says, "Stay here. And when you're ready to make lieutenant, if you're still here, you're going to get 100 automatically. Because if you're not 100 working for the sheriff, you're not going to stay." So that's what I did. And as soon as I made lieutenant, they transferred me right back to homicide bureau, where I took over 14 investigators. So it would have been nice to make captain, but it wasn't in the cards. I didn't like the way things were going on the department. They were really, I was going to have to be the computer Nazi, where I would look at you can't tell jokes or anything on the computers. And if I catch them, I'm supposed to rat them out. Well, I knew I wasn't going to rat them out, but I had to tell them. I said, hey, don't send me this shit because they audit the computers. I said, and if they audit mine and I got this shit on there, I'm going to get in trouble and you're going to get in trouble, but I'm going to get in worse trouble because I'm the lieutenant. So don't send me any of your cochinadas. If they're that good, send them to my home computer. I don't care. I'm not a prude. I just don't want them on this shit. So you had to be diligent about that. I didn't want to worry about it. But yet the department they told the captain where I was working in homicide, they wanted us to come up with a schedule to cut out all overtime, zero overtime, and try and save money. And I'm the only staff member, lieutenant or the captain, that had ever worked homicide. So I knew it, the ins and outs of the homicide bureau. I was waiting to make captain to take over the bureau. And the captain said, I told him, you can't do that. That's an impossible act. Murders, we are a reactionary force. We don't schedule murders. And he says, I know. I said, well, what are you going to do the first time a crew goes out there? And then all of a sudden they tell the victim's family, hey, sorry, we got to go. Our time is up for the day. We'll be back tomorrow. He's first team that does that will be rolled up the next day. They'll be gone. And I said, you can't do that. You know, he doesn't have the power. That'd be a violation. They'd be sued. And he just said, that's what I want. And if there's a lieutenant up here that thinks they can't go along with the program, they could be transferred out as well. Now, he said that, and I knew this guy doesn't have the fucking juice to move me out. You know, he couldn't have done it. I had a bigger juice card than he did. Not only that, the news media would have even started saying, hey, what happened to Gil? Why? And if they'd asked me, I won't lie. I'll tell them the truth. And so I just decided, you know what? Rather than go out being bitter or angry, I had enough time. I'll just go out quietly, and I left. Matter of fact, the sheriff told me he was pissed off at me. He said, you said you'd stay around as long as I did. I said, you need a yes man, and I'm not a yes man, boss. So we're friends, and if I see him, he'll give me a hug. I'll give him a hug. But it just wasn't in the card. Timing was right, and that's why I left.
Cool. Wait, real quick, when this guy was doing it, at any time did you guys think that there was multiple people involved doing these murders or any copycats?
I didn't think so. Salerno did. Salerno thought that maybe there was 2 serial killers working in the area. But there wasn't any copycats because nobody knew what he was doing.
Because I figured, you know, something when he went up to San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
It was like,
he had friends up in San Francisco.
oh, okay.
That's why he went up there.
Whatever happened to the car that LA kept away from you guys?
I don't know. It was their vehicle. We didn't need it for anything.
Yeah, because
by the time we got to it, there were no fingerprints. They got. I'm sure they returned it to the owner, but it was no use to us.
All right. Well, I have a last question. We always ask our guests before we end the show, and
get ready for it.
I gotta tell you, I have no idea what this question is going to be, but it's got to be something different because when you're talking to me, Iggy's over here laughing his ass off, waiting for the question.
Everybody's kind of answered it except for one, and we respect that. If you don't want to answer it, don't answer it.
All right.
And I've been asking this since we started. ¿Quién? ¿Quién en tu familia vale verga?
Nobody, nobody in my family vale verga, because I started out with 6 sisters and no brothers. I've got 3 sisters left. My mom and dad are now deceased, and in my family, I have 3 kids, my grandkids. Everybody's been trouble free. There's no problem. They're all responsible. They all work. They all live on their own. So it's there's nobody in my family que vale verga. let
How
them
old are your
know.
kids? How old are your kids?
I've got one that's going to be. Let's see. We just went through this. My son is going to be 47. One
Oh wow.
daughter is. He's the youngest. I have one daughter that's going to be 50, and the other daughter that's going to be 53.
Jeez. And grandkids?
I have 4 grandkids. One just turned 25. He just gave us our first great grandchild.
Oh hell yeah.
I have one that's 30, just turned 30, and he is lives down in Oceanside. He graduated from high school, got a when you graduate, they give you a scholarship. He got a scholarship, and he ended up going to a school of performing arts. She's danced and sang all over the world, and she's now back here. She does commercials, and she still does uh, competition dancing, and she's a dance instructor. Her boyfriend, the guy she lives with, he does the same thing. He travels. Matter of fact, he's leaving tomorrow for China,
Oh wow.
and won't be back until the 20th of July. He's going over there to teach. He was in China last month. He was in I don't know. He went to some other country. He went to 2 countries last. I want to say Indonesia. Went to Indonesia and just teaching dance. So they're settled. And then I have 2 small ones that are 12 and 9, and those are my little buds. There's 2 brothers.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
So they're I love those guys.
Has there been any family members that have followed your career? Like, I mean, got into like.
No, my middle daughter, at one time, she was thinking about it. She asked me for an application to bring it home to her, and she wanted to be a custody assistant, work inside the jails. And I brought her the application, but I told her, I said, why don't you just fill it out? Because, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to have cops right next to you, and they're going to be making almost twice as much money as you. I said, why don't you just go through the department? She's got the personality. She's afraid to fail. And I think she got cold feet, was just afraid that if she didn't make it, she'd have to face me, and didn't know. Son-in-law, he's a deputy. My grandson wanted to get on the department initially. When things started to go south and all the problems started, he finally told me, he says, I told my dad and Papa, I hope I don't disappoint you. I'm not going to do it after all. He started with a background process and everything, but he just said, it ain't for me. And I said, don't you worry, son, this job ain't for everybody. And I ain't never going to be disappointed in you because you did it. So he's doing all right. And all of them trouble-free. Never had a problem.
Hell yeah. Well, look who's the role model right there. No, hey, it goes by, it starts at home and then it feeds off everywhere else,
Yeah.
But Gil, it was a pleasure having you.
Well, thank you.
You are awesome, man.
Thank you for doing this so that everything's going fine. And I'm flattered and honored that you guys asked me. And this is the longest one I've ever done. Shit, what time is it? It's 8:30 now. It's almost 8:30. And so
yeah,
we're good.
We've had a couple of guests on here going like 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and they like it because it's a Zoom. They can just do it under their house and chill and whatever.
Well, nothing personal. I'm glad we're in it though, because my perro, he's hungry. He's ready. He's ready for me to get up and give him some food.
He's looking at, hey, tell Colonel Sanders to shut the fuck up already. Yeah. Yeah, right? But hey, thanks for coming on here.
Let me know how you came out from your following. Let me know how they enjoyed it, or what kind of numbers you got.
Okay, we'll let you know. And
all right,
we're gonna hit you up. We're gonna need your address. So it's not just something that we just like to send our guests.
I I got a text from Iggy there. I got the phone number. I'll send you my email, my home address.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And Mr. Carrillo, once again, thank you for coming on. Thank you for your service. Thank you for all the work you've done, man.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
And we're honored to have you. And
have a safe 4th of July. Watch out for those fires out there.
hey,
yeah.
And go Dodgers.
And go Big Blue, brother.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Boop, boop. The Giants.
Boop, boop.
That's right. Look at that. Look at that guy. Look at that Bill.
That's a badass belt.
I think Iggy says he's gonna send it to you. So thanks, Iggy.
An autograph.
Yeah, and send it right back. But thank you, Gil, for coming out here, man.
All right, thank you.
You're awesome. Okay, good night.
Hell
That was
yeah.
awesome, dude. That was fucking awesome, man. What a fucking interview. Jeez.
Hell yeah, man. That was great, man. I love it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's just a kickback dude, and you know, I thought he was gonna climb through the screen when I asked him, "Kim Bada Belga to the family." He was like, "Nobody, motherfucker. The fuck you asking me that?"
Right.
But
so we're gonna do one thing real quick. Anybody want to come on? We're gonna open up the lines for about, what do we say, 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
10 minutes, and then anybody that wants to come on, the link is on the bottom. You want to come on and say something, do a shout out to family members, ask us questions. Feel free to go onto that link right there and say what's up. This is a way to interact with our people here.
Hey, that was pretty cool to him to give us a score también. Play by play.
Hell yeah.
Hey, 14-7. I wonder who scored the touchdowns. No, I'm just asking for myself. I want to know who scored. Who scored the? Was it a pass? Gee, God. See?
Hell yeah.
And watch, they won't come out. That's the way.
They're gonna be hiding all night, all tonight and tomorrow.
That's the way the Santa Clara Hyenas are. That's the way the Giants are. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Most of the other fan bases are like that también.
Hell yeah.
They don't have the same energy as Raiders or Dodger fans.
No, never, man.
Or Lakers. Nope.
Well, it's like that. It's like that. The hat that I posted, for y'all don't know, I posted a hat on my TikTok, and it said San Francisco on it with this color blue on it instead of LA had SF. They're never gonna be us, and I don't know why they would make that hat.
Oh, it was a blue hat.
It was a blue hat.
It just like all these teams that they should be wearing their own colors. They want to incorporate black into their fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, wear your fucking bright red shit. Wear your fucking bright orange shit. You know what I mean? But they always have to incorporate black because they want it to be like us Raiders. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, wear your fucking fucked up colors that you guys got.
That orange and black, Cerrote.
Nancy said, "It's amazing that you got him on here. That's awesome." Yeah, no, it was like I said, I got to meet him a long time ago, and he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Now him and Iggy got a little relationship going with Dodgers, and yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, well, you know. And
hey. And then I told him, I go, hey, Arizona, hit me up. You know, I'm here.
Yeah, you know, and a lot of these guys, they just want to get on here and talk and bullshit, and you know, and that's what we do is let them talk. What's up? It's Flaca. Ay, cabrón, mira la flaca. That's closed eyes. Closed eyes. Yeah. Have you seen her? Have you seen her when she talks?
Yeah, I seen her.
Yeah,
She's one of our followers, man. She follows
yeah,
you and me.
yeah. She's amazing. How she can get around her house but not open her eyes, dude. It's fucking amazing. Like I told her, hey, you get it ready for if you get blind or fucking peachy bleach gets in your face, you already know what to do. You can walk around and fucking like nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, thanks for you guys for being on here. If you guys don't want to come on, it's okay. We're giving you guys a time to get on here and interact. But yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, it was great, man. I loved it, man. It was awesome. Uh, he opened up a lot of the questions that you usually have when people don't really know. You know what I mean? What happens in the background part.
Yeah, yeah.
So it gave us a lot more detail and more of an understanding of how everything happened and what was happening during the process.
Yeah, and it would have been cool to have or get him, and I wonder to get Frank Salerno,
Yeah,
but I don't
that'd
know
be
if he'd be that.
awesome.
That would be bad to get him, dude. With him, fuck yeah, I would
Hell
love to
yeah.
do that. But
But yeah,
no, getting Gil was good enough, and Marcos, man, best podcast. Thank you, Marcos. Hell yeah. No, that guy just he's a gentleman and a scholar, man, and he doesn't act like he's too good. He's a street guy. He knows what's up. You know what I
yeah,
mean? That's what made it better. That you could hear the way he was talking.
hell yeah. We're gonna leave the lines open for another 5 minutes, guys. Make sure you guys get that link at the bottom of the screen if you want to pop in real quick and say hello. Shout your family out, have questions, interact with us. This is the way to interact with you guys. Make sure you guys share, like, follow the stream. Remember, at 150 subscribers, we're gonna raffle off the Dodger jacket. So
And
share
it's
it to all your family and everything.
and it's easier this time, guys. You guys don't have to guess on any Apple Jacks. We're just gonna put your name on a wheel. Uh, my co-host right here, Iggy, will spin it, and shout outs to our other winner last week or when we got on, Michelle Perez.
Yeah,
Yeah, she won the Rams Super Bowl jacket. So you said you sent that out, right? So it should be getting to her pretty soon.
yeah. I should be getting there soon.
Yeah, so that'll be cool that she gets it, and whatever she does with it, she wants to fucking burn it, whatever the fuck. That's on her. That's hers. You know what I mean? There's no rules or whatever. Once it's yours, you do whatever you want with it. But like I
Yeah,
said, you can give it to one of your relatives that's a Ram fan or whatever team that we give. This was amazing, and I want that Dodgers jacket. You know what? Listen, you better open your eyes. You better open your fucking eyes. I know you got your eyes open right now. That's why you're looking at the fucking Dodger jacket. Relax, relax, Blanca. No, but yeah. Once we get to 150 subscribers, we'll go ahead and raffle that fucker up. Hell yeah! And we got a lot more good stuff coming up, guys, to raffle up. Uh, we got other some more Ram shit, maybe Chargers. I don't know, maybe whatever. And then we got maybe some stuff like this. You want some talking real Masa stuff? Let's do it.
hey, we got merch coming. I didn't
We
tell
got
you
some.
that.
Imagine taking a shot in this motherfucker, then you start talking shit.
Hey, I should do
Imagine.
that one day, huh?
Fuck yeah. Take a shot, then start talking Masa. There you go. Just don't. Hey, you could drink. You could drink it and talk Masa, and I'll just take a Masa right here.
You're gonna sit right next to me.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. No, I'm saying I can do it right here. You see me making faces, you know what the fuck's going on.
Oh man! All right, guys. 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes, guys. Get in the live. Say what's up. It's right on the bottom of your screen, guys.
You too crazy. Bring me something when you come to Colorado.
A frozen burrito.
I'm gonna give you a sock check. No, I'll bring you a peachy osa burrito. There you go.
Shout out to everybody watching. Everybody
Yeah.
watching and
Thanks for coming on, guys. It was awesome. I
showing
had a good
support.
time. I had a good time with this. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, this
Hell
guy
yeah.
gave us a lot of, and it's been since '85 that shit happened, and sometimes you got to go back and relive shit, and there was a lot of people involved in that crap.
Yes, sir.
It wasn't just like a little thing. This is a big, and for me to live through it, it was fucked up. I'm telling you, it was fucked up. But you know, thank God, shit's over, and hopefully by not us by bringing it up, there ain't gonna be no copycats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's too hard now for them to be doing that shit. But we don't know. But as long as we have good guys like that chasing them down, we're good.
How can you win the Dodger jacket? Hey, we need 150 subscribers, guys. Go share the live, share the page, share the videos we already got on there, the lives that are already on there. Get people to subscribe at 150 followers or subscribers. We're gonna raffle it off.
Yeah, that's where it's at, guys. We need people to subscribe, share, tell your friends. Like I said, and Iggy said too. We're not having. We're getting some good guests. You know what I mean?
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
We got plenty more coming.
You guys been having some fire interviews. Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
you, man.
Hey, Marcos, you're awesome. Thanks for noticing that. And yeah, it's been, like we said, it's all about the guests when they get on here, guys. We
Yep.
can't just once they get on here, we got to let them go, and that's their show. It's their show. We can't be talking me and this guy talking. They're gonna be like, well, what the fuck am I doing here? You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Right?
Thank you guys. Thank you. Hell yeah. Thanks for the support, honestly. For real.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, we told you this was gonna be a big one, and we were pretty excited for it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it seemed like he was more excited to get on here too. It was good. It was good. We both had energy, all of us, to do this.
Yeah.
And like we said, he don't mind talking about it, because he's not involved in it anymore. So he says what he says, and that's it.
Now, I'm gonna show the jacket off before we get off the live. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it down real quick. So here in the front, you got the big Dodger logo. The size large. LA logo on the side, on the sleeve. Nothing on the back. Pull over. Has pockets here. Zippers there. So it's a nice jacket, guys.
Yeah, it's an awesome jacket.
Brand new.
So make sure we get to those 150 subscribers before Iggy puts it on and stretches the fuck out of that thing.
I'm gonna stretch the fuck out of it, man. The logo's gonna be all ripped.
Right?
Y'all remember the whole?
Yeah, you're gonna turn that fucking extra large into a 7X.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tear it all up like the Hulk, man.
Right? Yeah, don't do it. Yeah, don't do it. So get us to 150 so we can raffle that fucker up.
Yeah, just share it up to your people.
So we got shared to get 150 subscribers. Yeah. Once we get to 150, share, tell your people, get us to 150, and we're gonna raffle that thing up.
Yeah.
And then what's the next thing? Another 150, and then we'll do the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Alonzo.
Yeah, the Alonzo. Well, you could do the Alonzo right now if you have one. Fuck it.
They're saying Incredible Hulk it.
No, don't do it. Don't Incredible Hulk it. Please don't do it.
Hell yeah. Thank
No,
you
but
for sharing.
we also want to thank LA Jax. LA Jax, he's our sponsor for donating that. He's going to be donating more stuff. We don't know what it is, but he's going to be donating it. And shout outs to him. If you need anything, guys, if you're local right there in Whittier, California, right off of Painter and Greenleaf, LA Jax, look them up. Go down there and check them out. Awesome store. Awesome store.
Let
Get
them
your
know we
Dodgers.
thank you.
Yeah, let them know the Real Talking Real Masa podcast sent you, and you guys can get your Dodgers, Lakers, Raiders, UCLA, USC. Unfortunately, he got the horns up the nalgas in there, the Rams and the Chokers, the Chargers. He has those you can find on clearance. So just go look in the trash can. You might see some in there. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Now he has them on a clearance rack, guys. I'm being honest. He got pullovers and stuff like that. $80, but he got some down to like $5, $10 because Ram fans and Charger fans don't buy. Just being honest.
Cheap bastards.
That's why that's why we got rid of a Super Bowl Ram jacket. Come on. You're not gonna buy that thing? You know what I mean? And if you know a Ram fan and a Charger fan, get a GoFundMe for them so they can come and buy their stuff.
And make sure you smack them where you're at it.
Yeah. And you know, maybe they might throw a lemonade stand to raise money. I don't know. Think of something. But yeah,
Smack the masa out of them.
smack the masa out of them. That's right. The saliva. That way you see that saliva pop out of their mouth.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, Ziggy, it was a good show. But I think we should go live a little bit for like 5 minutes on our own to talk shit about the Giants.
Let's go. Let's do it. Hey, if you guys are on TikTok, make sure you follow me, Iggy King. Follow my Theo Monopoly Man, the Mexican Monopoly Man on TikTok. Make sure you go check us out. Check out our videos. We got some real shit to say on there.
But go back to our interviews on YouTube, guys. Go check them out. Get the numbers up or whatever. But we got some good guys on there. We had a Smokey comedian. We've had Gilbert Escobar, the comedian. Joy Medina, one of the Latin kings of comedy. We've had Monaby Henley with her husband Rich Garcia. Singers.
Sugar Boom Boom.
Sugar Boom Boom. You know that's what's his name? That's DL
Downer.
DL Downer. That's right. Look him up. The EC Gangster.
There you go. EC Gangster.
Yeah, we got him on there. Yeah, Ronnie Romo. But check him out with his daughter. Yeah, that was a good one. Who else have we had on there?
Gilbert Escobar.
Gilbert Escobar. Yeah, we've had a couple of guys on there already. So go check it out, guys. And now, go check out this one. Yeah, we'll share that one. We got the legendary detective right there, Gil Carrillo.
Hell yeah.
You know, his dog was pissed off. Fuck yeah. So.
Hell yeah. With that being said, guys, we're going to end it here. Y'all have a great night. Have a great rest of your weekend. Drink a lot of water. And remember, the Giants.
Open your eyes inside. Open your eyes inside.
Open your eyes.
Open your eyes inside. Okay. Yeah. And but Giants?
Valen verga.
Valen verga. Puro verga. Chingo.
Deuces, fooses.